What is going on, Marlboro Softball? And welcome back to another episode of the Marlboro Softball Podcast. It is June 5th when we're recording. And let me tell you, fellas, the season is here in full force. We finally had a Wednesday night doubleheader. The much anticipated Wednesday night doubleheaders. 3 straight rainouts, killing vibes. But this most recent one didn't disappoint. We'll get into that. We'll get into the Sunday slate. We'll get into next Sunday's slate. But before that, we must say hello to the lads bringing it to you. And we are lads this week, boys, because the Olympics are back. Let's throw it over to the one person not on Team Ireland. Ush, how we doing, buddy? How are we doing? Team Goldfarb's feeling it.
Also, Team USA on the Olympics, so representing America. Honestly, you're right. The season is here. We got to play on a Sunday night game also. To me, getting your first night game under your belt officially brings the season in. You get a whole bunch of spectators. That was probably our first, exposure to the league in our own way of being watched, because most of our games have been early when everybody else is playing. And I think putting some people on notice now.
We'll get into Team Goldfarb because, as you say, people are on notice. And someone that was put on notice in live time, the 2019 Washington Nationals, Johnny Hempstead. You're in the midst of quite the marathon this week, buddy. How are you holding up?
Sore. 4 days of softball in a row. Some of them 2 games. Doing fine. 2 more games on Sunday, 8:30, and then 6 p.m. Thanks a lot, guys.
All that cardio is paying off, huh?
It's been a while since I've done cardio.
I mean, getting it. You got it in 4 straight days.
I guess.
For the people that don't know, Johnny Hemp, and listen, John, I want this on the record to just let people know how big a warrior you are.
Right. Yes.
You play Sunday night. You played Monday hooligan ball. That's a lot of the Marlboro guys playing in Sayreville. Ush also on the team.
2 games. Played the outfield, by the way.
2 games, of course. You played Tuesday night MVP.
Right.
You played Wednesday night Marlboro, which you could define that as playing if you want. We'll get into it. You played a night with the podcast, which is probably going to go 2.5 hours, and you got the day-night doubleheader Sunday. So for the folks listening right there, Johnny Hemp, dedicated.
Dog.
Dedicated.
Dog.
Better dog than your actual dog, who also made an appearance Wednesday night. Shout out Big Mike.
Shout out Big Mike.
Yep.
All right. And we'll say hello to the last of the folks, the Red Hot, the Salmon wearing, Dommy D, the O McFalco. How we doing, bud?
Doing well. Wednesday night doubleheader was everything we could have wanted. Well, basically everything we could have wanted.
I don't know if there's much more we could have hoped for other than Ben getting ejected.
Yes.
Definitely was looking for an ejection with Fogues last night. Thought we were going to get it. Would have been great content for the live stream as well.
We watched a fight in the mud for a knife, and then we watched a bloodbath. So we got kind of like,
you got everything.
Yeah, it was a Roman gladiatorial event.
We all witnessed our own ballet last night.
All right, shit. Let's clear some housekeeping, and then we can get into the Wednesday slate. I think the Wednesday slate, obviously, like I said, we're recording Thursday. Big Wednesday night games happened. A lot happened. Finally got to record them, but before we get there, let's do some housekeeping. So, everyone, we've mentioned the last 2.5, 3 weeks, whatever it is. We've mentioned all of the events that are happening. A couple more events have been planned. The Olympics is back. The Olympics is back 7/13, July 13th. We're going to bring the Olympics 3:30 start. There's going to be 6 teams, 2 pools of 3. They're going to play one another, winners and then losers. So 4 games that happen, all 7-inning games. We got Ireland, we got Italy, we got 2 USA teams, we got Team Israel, and then we got what do they call them? Afro Latinos.
Mm-hmm.
Very fun, very excited for that. We got rained out 3 different times last year. 4th time's a charm. That's what they always say. So we're hoping that happens out. For fundraisers, Buffalo Wild Wings, Rich Hartley, who's been an amazing sponsor for the league since he's joined, is hosting a fundraiser through Buffalo Wild Wings. So there's going to be a flyer that Doug puts out anytime soon. If you bring that flyer to Buffalo Wild Wings, whatever you spend, they will be donating back part of your bill to charity yet to be decided, but they will be donating part of your bill to charity out of respect for Marlboro softball. So go to Buffalo Wild Wings on 7/13, so 7/11. If you go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Marlboro on 7/11, part of your bill will be donated to a charity of the Marlboro softball's choice. So listen in for more information. Check the Facebook, text Doug, text Rich. Doug's begging for your text, people. He has nothing better to do. So look how we can get involved supporting charity. The league's been very charitable lately, and here's just another example of it. So, and this isn't money out of your own pocket. It's money out of Rich's pocket. So
Doug's looking for any excuse to use ChatGPT to make a flyer.
Right.
That's why there's so many events going on this year. Doug's just eating it up, making flyers this year.
Got to make use of that $20.99 a month membership, dude. I get it.
Well, what I think is nice about this one is for some of the older folks in the league, maybe they got families, right? Take your son, daughter, wife out. Family of 4 goes there, spends $120. 25 of it goes back to the charity. And then people that are a little bit younger, right? You go get some beers with your friends. You spend $140 with your friends, and 20 of it goes to charity, right? Like little things like that I feel like are available that day. So definitely go take advantage. Teams go. Why not like get your team going there? Dom, text Team Meyer. Be like, yo, Buffalo Wild Wings, let's go have a night. Kick back a little bit to charity. Team Carroll, you are charity, so maybe the money goes to you.
Johnny will be at Applebee's waiting for your donations.
By the way, Dom, the haircut looks fantastic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Only real friend on this group. I see what you're trying. I know you're trying to warm me up.
Good deflection.
I understand what you're trying to do.
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll get into it. Don't worry.
I'm still trying to figure out how we're going to find 12 Latinos with afros in the league.
I guess technically I could probably qualify for that if I just let my hair go.
That's got to be the Aponte team.
The Army's got a team in the Olympics. That's tough. Gonna be
Good try, John.
I thought the Olympics were supposed to be like a peaceful thing, not war. Can't bring an army to the Olympics.
Good point.
You know what will be war, though?
I do know a guy that did that, in Berlin in the 1920s. So, I guess.
Did he have a cool mustache?
I don't know if it was cool, but it was definitely Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan did like sport one in a Hanes commercial. Remember when Michael Jordan had that mustache in that Hanes commercial?
Is that the one where he goes, stop, get help, and he's telling people to not do drugs? No, different commercial.
Different commercial, yeah.
Too many. He's been in too many commercials.
Too many things.
Stop.
There was a Hanes commercial with Michael Jordan in it when he was on an airplane wearing Hanes, and he sported that mustache, and it just kind of went.
Oh,
sure.
I can't fly if I'm not wearing my Hanes either, so I get it.
Yeah. Someone older than you, fucking young children, have seen this.
I was going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No,
someone older.
John's the sports guy on this podcast.
Someone between
so
you and Doug. God damn it.
When Michael Jordan was on the Wizards, I was 5.
All right, let's go to you're right. Out of date reference. Michael fucking Jordan's out of date reference. Cool.
Dude, stop being so old, Dom. Fuck.
Sorry, my back.
My memory doesn't go back that far. I was probably like 4 when that commercial came out.
All right, let's move on. One of the last events we'll have for the year, because every other weekend is basically packed with events. We're gonna do the first ever podcast invitational.
Yes.
And Dom, I will throw it over to you to explain it.
Marty, what is the podcast invitational?
I just asked you what it is.
I try to reverse you really quick.
And I fucking reversed your reverse, bud.
That was like a school project video.
Damn.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna invite a group of 40 players from the league, players at every different position. So if you play first base, we're gonna invite people that play first base. We're not gonna take a third baseman and put them at first. So we're going to get players from all over the league, all different ways. The 4 of us are going to get together. We're going to kind of hammer down this list and send you an invitation. And if you can't make it, that's shame for you. And we'll just go down the list. But and then we'll do a live draft, the 4 of us. And the draft will be fun because you can't draft more than one player at one position. So you can get a little crafty. It'll be a little bit different than our normal draft, so it'll be a lot of fun. It'll be fun, to kind of get everyone together. We're going to try to raise some funds for the broadcast. We need some equipment. We have a nice 3-camera setup. We want to get rolling. We have some stuff that we need to do so we can kind of broadcast the games in prime time and in the playoffs and things like that. So I think we're going to maybe raffle off a nice catered dinner from me for 2 or 4. Maybe we'll do 2 sets of dinner for 2 or 1 group of 4. But we'll find some stuff. I'll make some desserts. We'll have some good ball will be played. You can come out and support, buy some raffle tickets, help us out, help us try to drag all the media of the league into the 21st century.
Yeah, and I think what I'm most excited for about this is it's not necessarily going to be like an all-star game. Like, we're not going to nominate the 4 best players at every position. It's more like a let's have some fun type game, right? Get some good vibes, some friends, some people that not necessarily get the shine 24/7 like everyone else. So I think that's the beauty of nominating people at positions and all that. Right. So I'm really excited for the energy that day brings. It's going to be a good day. Did we land on a date? Was it 8/10? Was that right,
yes.
Dom?
Yes.
August 10th. So August 10th, it'll come hang out. Even if you're not invited to participate in the game, that doesn't mean we didn't want you to play. Limited spots. Limited spots.
There's only 4 teams. We can only pick 4 guys.
It means we didn't want you to play that bad.
We might want you to play next year, so
Yeah, we would like to definitely keep this going as long as we're still doing the broadcast, we're still doing the podcast, and even if we pass it down to people who want to eventually take it over, just so we can continue.
And I really think next year is Darren Sandler's year, so we're gonna start inviting. Yeah.
Personally, for me to nominate you, you have to hit 15 foul homers. So he hasn't hit 15 yet. Brett Easton has, so Brett's getting an invite.
Getting an invitation.
But Saylor is not qualified yet.
Saylor's finding the fairway more these days.
He's too good.
He's not finding the rough.
He's not invitational material right now.
Let me tell you.
Darren's too cool to play in our invitational.
Speaking of Darren Saylor, and maybe this isn't a podcast public material, but it is now.
That's all right.
I was hanging out with him Memorial Day, and he was feeling a little bit of maybe insecurity about where he's getting drafted. He was drafted in the middle of the 3rd round, and when you look at the draft board, it looks like he was drafted first pick in the 3rd round. Really, he was drafted middle of the 3rd round because of the penalty that was there. He came up to me, and I was talking to him, and I was talking to DeMarco about how he feels he should be drafted higher than that. And here we are naming names. Eddie Faucick, the Santiagos, Brian Aponte, early twos, Vince Caputo. We're talking late ones, early twos. We're talking twos. We're talking Brullo. Where does Darren Saylor go in all of this?
Behind the Ponte, for sure.
And of course, after 40 minutes of debate, he's just like, I think I'm an early 3. And I lost my mind. I was like, Darren, you basically were an early 3, dude. Look at the draft board. You were an early 3. So shout out Darren and his delusions. If you're listening to this, Darren, don't change. Keep hitting the ball foul.
Mr. Smiles, as I like to call him, because he just did nothing but pout the whole time that we played together 2 years ago. Rightfully so. We only won 3 games. We were terrible. But my
maybe
man,
because he was
Darren
your 2,
Saylor,
not
Mr.
your 3.
Smiles. I think he might have been our 1. Still confused about that to this day, and I was on the team.
Last piece of housekeeping. We finally had a Sunday night, Wednesday night where we could broadcast. Ush, how you played one of those Wednesdays. Can't throw it to you. Dom, we'll throw it over to you. How do you feel 3 games under the new broadcast format has went? We've gotten rave reviews, but let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Is that a saying?
Pretty horse-like.
Hung like one.
Where it counts.
Somebody had to say it.
Yeah, we were all thinking of it. So I love it. I think we just need to figure out a few little issues that comes with having some finer equipment. But I think that we're starting to nail down the flow. We're starting to nail down the call. The scoreboard that we have now is awesome. I think the vibes are really great. I think people kind of know to come by, say hello, and keep moving. I know people want to see a little bit more of the crowd work, a little bit more mobile cam. So we're going to work on that these next coming weeks. We're also going to maybe we'll do like a Doug Ball inning and let him grab the phone and do like the 3rd or 4th inning, just a little bit of nostalgia for some people. So we're going to do some fun things. Just let us figure out the technical aspects of it. And, any feedback is good feedback. We can take it or leave it, but we'd like to hear it. So whatever you got to say, please send it our way. And, if you're interested in doing an on-the-field interview or any kind of fun stuff, we'd love to have you. Just, shoot a text to Doug, and then he'll send a text to Marty. Marty will send a text to me, and we'll figure it out. But thank you for the support.
I would love to cut myself out of this. Just text Dom. If Dom has more than enough time to just reply to text messages.
Oh, fine. I accept it.
Yeah. No, the broadcasts, the last 3 games we've done have been, it's unfortunate the teams that we've done, but it's been a good time doing them. I feel like we're figuring it out, right? So for those that haven't watched it, go check out Marlboro Softball Podcast on YouTube. We got a behind home plate camera. We got a camera up the first baseline. That's what we've locked in. We're going to figure out the left field camera a little bit, see how we can get some outfield play involved. Like you said, Dom, we're going to figure out how we can get a more mobile cam, show some of the teams, show more right field, get a little bit more of the involvement from the league there as well, like you said, with the interviews. Like, I think me and Ben coming on after our game was cool when you get to talk to us after our game or everything. So we're going to figure all that out. And a couple shout outs. Like, we can't, me, Ush, and Dom obviously involved in all of that. You're going to hear our voices more than anyone else on that podcast. But got to give a shout out to Joe Caputo. Big for the graphics, big for the website, gets us on there. He's the one putting the scoreboards together. So shout out Joe. And then Steve Sanningate's been big help keeping the book. He's our stats guy. Who's coming up? What are the lineups? What are the stats? What's the situation? So without Steve and Joe, it would not be possible to get you the information. So shout out to them and Heitzner on security, because if it wasn't for him, then Steve Fry would talk into the mic for 18 innings when no one needs to hear Steve Fry for 18 innings.
And let's thank Evan Abramson, too, for donating the cameras. So
really?
Biggest shout out you could have given. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know he did that. That's very nice.
Yeah. He basically opened up the whole possibility of how we're filming this.
Yep. Yeah, so
And I
lots
know-
of shout-outs. Lots of shout-outs to go around.
I can speak for myself. I can't speak for you, Marty. I know after doing basically 2 games on the cameras last night, a lot of fun being able to switch back and forth between the home plate camera and, getting those plays over at first base, seeing if people are safer out, watching some of these throws. So looking forward to getting that left field camera figured out too, so we can get some sick catches in the outfield going, hopefully.
Oh yeah. Only good things that we'll figure out. But speaking of figuring it out, right? We did just have our first Wednesday, the 6-4, June 4th doubleheader, Union Hill, 7:15, 8:45. Did we lose him?
No,
2 interesting games, 2 complete different games that happened, right? We had Kessler, Pingaro, and then we had LaRocca, Carroll. So let's dive right into them. Let's start with maybe one of, and maybe you want me to start, maybe one of you want to start. You let me know, because I was involved. One of the more interesting games that's happened this year. Game of the year.
Game of the year so far, I would say.
4-team farbs.
Was that Tom?
Oh, you're saying game of the year for...
No, game of the year, the Pingaro Kessler game so far.
Gotcha.
I think we had it before that, but I think that the energy and the dogfight that it was last night just really overtook our walk-off win over Goddard at East Francis. There was just so much energy last night. Lot of... You could tell that each team was kind of trying to one-up each other in the energy and how bad that they wanted it. And
so the fact that it was a spicy.
Yeah, it got real spicy last night.
It did get spicy. And listen, I'll tell you this. Before anyone ever showed up, the game was getting spicy. Like, let's talk about Team Kessler real quick. We show up early. We have dedicated players that want to get better. So we show up early for tea time. We showed up very early, and unfortunately, there was a 10U, maybe even 10 girls softball that needed to get energy exerted on the field. So they just wasted our time. They spent a half hour on the field for no reason, just wasting everyone's time. So we were already pressed for time. 6 o'clock rolls around. We start taking BP. We have 4 players. Team Pingaro has 3 players. Ed, Pings, and Seamus Coyle. And Ed, the whole time that we're taking BP, or we're taking tea time, just bitching about how much time we're taking, and he wants to take BP, and he wants to take BP, and he wants to take BP. So he kind of rushes through our tea time, and then by the time we shut down tea time, Ed decided he no longer wanted to take BP, so he just bitched about nothing for 40 minutes while we took tea time. And that's okay and everything. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to let Ed hear it, or I'm not going to let Pings hear it. So we were getting a little bit heated before the game got started. And then the game got started and the second inning happened. And we didn't play very well defensively. Fred starts chirping from the third baseline. We got people throwing the ball around. Fogarty gets involved with a bad call, and he gets in Ben's fast, too. And it gets in his face, and Fogarty's a completely different problem that this league has. But it got by the second inning, we had 2 people almost get tossed. We had 6 errors between throwing and fielding. We had Fred chirping people. We had Edwin Valentine hitting no-doubt homers. By 7:30, the game was off the rails. And nobody knew what was about to happen for the next hour and a half. It was chaos.
Yeah, the first 4 innings were just spectacular. Superb.
Mm-hmm. It was the perfect start to doubleheader live stream. And I guess we also figured out the answer to the one gorilla versus 100 people, because the one gorilla won.
Did he win, though?
He won the pregame.
He won the battle but lost the war, you know?
Correct.
It was, they call it a Pyrrhic victory. Ooh, whose echo is that?
have been sabotaging the Wednesday night recaps, rightfully so.
I was, no one wants to hear about King Priam anyway.
I'll say this though about that team, and I think now's appropriate time to kind of talk about both of those teams. Like, obviously, we win on a walk-off 10-9, was it? I know there's some debate between Joe Caputo
8-9,
and
9-8.
It was 9-8.
Was it 9-8? I don't.
Yeah, because it was 7-7, and I asked.
First of all, I trust our book. Stevie Ginger Ale fucking keeps a tight book.
So is 9-8.
Yeah, he might have a bum thumb, but he's good at the book.
Unlike some people who are giving away Fugazi singles when they're clearly errors.
It was what 6-6. So we scored 3 in the first.
Oh yeah, 6-6.
6-6. So yeah. So they go down 1-2-3. Andy Kessler makes an insane play on Fred Lugos in the first to turn a double play.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was a huge
really great play.
And then we show up, we score 3. And I'll be honest, when we scored 3 in the first after that double play, I'm like, we're going to have a day.
Yeah.
We did not have a day. It was disgusting in the top of the second when we make 6 errors. They score runs. Edwin caps it off with a homer, his first homer in Marlboro softball. Arc ball, crazy. 6 shot from him. It fucking hopped on the
Edwin.
path.
Yeah,
There's no doubter.
I didn't know he had it in him.
I had no idea.
Not that he's not a good player. That was never his swing. I never thought that I'd see him put one over the fence.
Murdered that. I took one step and I turned to Billy and I was like, that's gone. And it was very gone.
Yeah.
So they take a 5-3 lead at that point. They tack on one more. We take a 6. We tied at 6-3, and then it was a fucking pillow fight from there on out, where it's just disgusting. I grounded into a double play with a man on first. Like, they stranded. Like, Ed popped out to first in a big spot in the 8th inning. Like, it was disgusting for an inning and a half, 2 innings there. And then
got good.
And in the bottom of the 9th, we come up with bottom 1. Wags has the big hit, and then Jeff Friedman walks us off. It was a gutsy win and a lot of fun. And after all the shit I gave to Patty Pings' team, I can say this right now. The Gaba has not lost his ghoul. The Gabagool is still around. He brought the heat. His team brought the heat. And they're playing them, their lineup. You get through Ed. You get through Fred. Foster had a solid day. And then you got 3 Silverbergs. And then you're like, cool, we got through them. Oh, we have Edwin, who hits the ball all over, clearly has power. You got Seamus. You got Kroos. Like, they have 9 straight guys with pop.
Even
and
Sutts.
Then Sut, I was just about to get there, right? You get Pings, right field, left. You read his feet. He's whatever, but he's going to hit it hard. Like, Pat's not getting cheated in that batter's box. And then you get Suggs, who's going to hit it far to left field. You're going to get Tyson, who's not getting cheated with his speed. Like, there's 13 guys in that lineup that are not getting cheated in that batter's box. And it's a little bit draining playing that team. Like, there's no easy out. And I don't think I realized that necessarily until we play them. And you're like, fuck. How the fuck do they still have a good hitter up right now? Oh, fuck. Ed's up again. Like, I didn't realize it until we played them. And they're a very solid team.
Being able to watch them a second time after watching them against Rosenstock that one week where they were just completely drained, I think that this is a completely different team now. I love the rivalry that, like, me and Pat kind of have going, where he knows that, like, I'm silently still rooting against them and he wants to win to shove it in my face every week. And I love that. But I think that they're starting to win me over each time. I kind of get to, like, watch them more and more because I'm starting to realize that if they can put it together, they're going to be a very dangerous team to play.
So you're kissing ass already?
What about you, Dom? How do you feel about these 2 teams?
Go ahead, Dom.
About what'd you say, Ham? You're asking me how I feel about both of these teams? These
Either
2 teams?
whichever one you want to go off on. Yeah.
Um, oh man, I have a lot of thoughts. I thought Pings' team. I like this. I like to see the energy, and I always thought they were going to be good. I think it's hard to have a team, a Pings team that's not going to be good. They're like trying to catch a wild animal in the woods, and then sometimes they scratch and claw. They're really tough. You guys have a really good defense. I thought their defense held up a little bit better than I thought it would.
Agreed.
I thought David had a really great game, and I think he's, the two of you are keeping your team afloat big time. And I don't know is that going to last for 22 games. And the same.
I stink.
I mean, same with Pings is that they really don't look like a powder keg. Like they look all together. They look like they're going to be tough to play no matter who they're going to play.
I like that you said that, Dom, because the one thing that I feel like I kind of noticed last night is Fred was kind of different. I think that he's not, riding his teammates as hard, and he was kind of more motivational. Like there was one time yesterday he was on first base. I think Doc got a hit. He just looked at Doc, told him like, "Great swing, way to go, good job." That was it. Like he made a hell of a play on you. That was when Pat dove up the middle, actually, and he saved it. Fred easily would have went to third on that. Would have been a first and third situation. But I just feel like Fred kind of gave some qualities that like you didn't really see from him or people don't know him for. And I think that goes a long way with this team also.
Maybe playing with Pat, like he knows he doesn't have to be that vocal asshole role that he always gladly plays, where he could take a seat back because he knows Pat's going to yell at the guys anyway.
He's got Pat, he's got Ed also, who will still also say stuff.
Ed ain't going to yell at anyone but the other team.
He's not going to yell at anybody, but Ed will still tell you like, don't make that play, or you got to do this.
We also don't know what kind of conversations have gone on between Pat and Fred, and I'm sure there's been a lot. So maybe that was addressed. I don't know. Just throwing it out there.
They're friendly, so it's very possible that was hashed out at some point in time, right? Like, there's no need to double up on these guys. Let me handle it. If you don't like something, you could let them know or something like that. So that's a great point, Johnny.
I'm just very impressed with how all the personalities on this team are kind of like meshing together, and it's not getting overly emotional between any one.
I think that's Pat. I think that's all Pat.
Pat's leadership.
A lot of respect for him. I mean, to have, Fred didn't want...
And his therapist.
He did, yeah, fair. But Fred was pitcher only. That's all he would say. So not only is he not playing where he wants to play, he's outright one of the top 10 best hitters in the league, and he doesn't get to play where he wants to play, and he's being more amiable than he's ever been.
Did Pat pay you guys to start being nice about him on the pod? Because if he did, I would also like to get paid to say nice things. This is unbelievable. We're like 3 weeks removed from murdering this thing.
Well, let me tell you this. I fucked up last week telling Pat that he lost the gabagool in his name. And then he looked at me Sunday and he goes, "We play you in 2 days."
Yeah.
I fucked up. Yeah. I should have reserved that because clearly he came fired up to shove it up my hoop when I called him out for losing the heat.
He did say you were right about that too, and he said it's over from there, and he's a man of his word. He's a man of his word.
He was, but I shouldn't have fired him up at that time. So do I have to respect Pat and the boys for bringing the heat on Wednesday after I call him out for not bringing the heat Sunday? Hell yeah, I have to respect that. Like, how do I not give them their flowers, even in a loss that they probably could have won? Like, respect to Team Pingaro for bouncing back energy-wise after I call them out energy-wise. Like, how do I shit on them a second week in a row, John?
This is
I got to look at my schedule. I apologize to my team in advance.
Johnny knows.
Pat's going to come out fired up for our matchup.
Johnny knows he's backed into a corner. He knows he's backed into a corner. He's lashing out ahead of time. We get it.
Dom, again, the hair looks great.
What's the next topic, Martin?
Is there anything else on either of these two teams before we jump into the next Wednesday night recap? This was an awesome game. If you didn't see it, it's up there on YouTube for you.
Last thing I'll say, you guys are who everybody thought you were, and
the Bears are who we thought they were.
We've said enough about, so just keep it moving.
Thank you.
That's right, Dennis Green.
Dom, John, anything else on Team Kessler or Team Pings?
One quick thing. This is barely related. It's about David V. It's barely related. It's about Rookie of the Year. I was told that Dennis O'Connor the award is over, and he's getting it. We are 7 games into this 22 season. That's it. That's insane. I'm sticking by my David V. Rookie of the Year pick. That's all I have to say about Team Kessler.
Pump your brakes.
I love Dennis O'Connor. He's the man, but
if there was an award for like Hoss of the Year, David Vignapiano.
I'm not
an absolute
thrilled.
Beast. One of my favorite teammates.
I'm not thrilled that he started
Thick Poppy.
Wearing tights and a headband like Marty. That's a team full of guys that dress like women when they play.
Here we go. You're just still butthurt we beat you.
What do you have to say? What do you have to say against the head ties, huh?
Head tie.
Way worse.
It's not a headband. It's a head tie.
I have a lot to say about the head
ties.
Makes
it significantly more masculine.
I wear a hat. Doesn't even match your team jersey.
It's a hat, though.
Yeah, it doesn't even match. Figure it out. Figure it out. So what? I don't wear tights.
Are you done? Are you done bitching, John? Because I would love to talk about the bitch of your team.
He's just deflecting. He's trying to put it off as long as
he is big time deflecting. Ush, it's out of control what's happening right now. Here's what I'll say. Last thing on Team Kessler, and there's 234 people, including the 13 on our team, myself included. We're sitting here. We are 6-2. We got the third best run differential in the league. We're averaging 8.9 a game. We know we have a little bit more in us offensively that we're looking to untap. Myself included, I've not had the best year. I've grounded the first double play I've ever grounded into. Pablo's average is probably not where he wants to be. Ben's our best hitter, which is disgusting because he swings like a pussy. There's a lot of guys who know that they can be doing more other than Ben that we're just looking for a little bit more. I'm challenging you guys listening. Like, we know we can do a little bit more. Let's do it. If we get that fucking run average above 10 and we keep it there defensively, that's where we're a force. So let's figure it out. We're talking about it internally. I want to put that on the podcast that we know. We just got to score a little bit more, and we're looking for it. And that's it. Anything else? Let's move on to the next game.
Back into this lineup.
Wait
till Daniel Kessler gets back into this lineup. That's what
really scares me.
Hell yeah.
Ben said that he wants Daniel to miss some more games, and I said I want my lesbian neighbors to be way hotter. So I guess we can't always get what we want here in life. That's your miss. That's the 10-run mark. You're missing Dan.
Beautiful time to struggle.
Probably.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Let's talk. You want to talk about?
We need John here for this.
You want to talk about the LaRocca first?
I thought we were about.
This isn't a repeat of
I
last
thought we were
week
about to
where
go
you think
right down the same.
The opposite, actually.
I got a notification that my
frozen,
camera
your
stopped
audio is
working
terrific.
and my device is struggling to record.
It has stopped working.
Guys, please come to the fundraiser on August 10th, please.
This is insane. The moment we're about to start talking about John's team, he fucking leaves the call. It's out of control.
Let's start with LaRocca.
But I guess, like we kind of talk. We need to talk about the game in order to pump Team LaRocca's tires here and tell Team Carroll how bad they are.
Honestly, let's use this as a break real quick. I'll be right back. I got to pee. All right. We'll move on to the next game here. Wednesday night, we had LaRocca win by, what was it, 10, 9, 8, 11, something like that. Jesus. 17-7? My God. Murder. Over Team Carroll. This game was significantly less fun. It was kind of fun in a different vein. Like, there were a lot of runs. Dennis O'Connor hit a ball that's still going. Johnny Hemp, it's been a tough spell for the boys. What do you make of the game that just happened? What do you want to say?
I mean, I think it's pretty obvious what's going on with our team.
For the people that don't watch, what's obvious?
It's obvious. I mean, if you got two eyes, it's pretty obvious what's going on. We're a hot weather ball club. We're a hot weather ball. I mean, I think it's really as simple as that. We're a hot weather ball club. We can't play in temperatures below 80 degrees.
I'm having a game at 88 degrees last night.
No.
I was gonna say it was pretty warm last night, but we're just gonna keep going with this take, I guess.
Disavow. Bullshit. 8:45 p.m. Get out of here.
We're talking Celsius, Dom. We're not talking Fahrenheit.
Yeah. Sorry.
Hot weather ball club. The good news is July is right around the corner, and when the summer strikes, we might not lose another game.
July is definitely right around the corner in about maybe another 25 days.
Dude, it is summer, John, and you play a doubleheader.
Right around the corner.
And let me tell you, when it hits, big trouble for everyone else.
Oh my gosh. This Team Carroll. I don't know. We saw it Sunday night. We saw it this night. I think this is the place to start because I think we can talk about Team LaRocca and they had a big win on Sunday, right? So I think we talk about Team Carroll here first. I'm concerned. I'm officially concerned.
Relax. Sigh. He's on sign number 5.
I'll sigh again. Disaster.
Whining about the score. Acting like a 10-run game has never happened before. 10-run games happen all the time.
10 runs game happened, John. It happened a lot.
Dennis
they scored 9 runs with 2 outs.
Hell of a ball game. Dennis O'Connor, stud.
Talk to us about the first inning, right? You get Joe Paragine down looking. You get Martino to pop up. And then they score 9 runs.
They scored 9 runs. 6.
It was 6.
But it felt like 9.
It was basically.
But 6 runs with 2 outs.
In the first.
Not great. You give up a solo homer, and then the wheels just kind of fall off.
The bottom of every lineup we play is just Frank Thomas, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGuire.
Those are good players.
Who else? Tony Gwynn.
But do you think that that's because of the bottom of your lineup, or do you think that that's because of your defensive alignment?
It's great.
You know what? Yes. Like, Ush, I will say the defensive alignment sucks. Like, we got to fix that. I don't think we have we don't have bad players. We have good fielders when you look at them. We just don't know where to play. It's that simple. And the weather. We need to be over 80.
Facts. Over 80 and under 88.5.
Right. Perfect.
Right. Thank you. Yes. Thank you, Marty.
I was nervous, and now that I've just found out your team is powered by Apollo for some reason, and you need to be in the fucking sun. Maybe August is your month.
By the way, we have got to get off Union Hill, right? We've played 7 games total. How many games have we played on Union Hill right? 5?
Well, considering Union Hill left is not usable right now, yeah, it makes sense that a lot of your Union Hill right games are being used.
Well, Bush, there are other fields other than just the 2 Union Hill.
There's no other field.
Well, you got a game flexed because we couldn't play at Freehold.
That's another thing. Karma's on our side big time.
And then you had a Wednesday night game, which by default has to be on Union Hill, right?
5 of 7 on Union Hill, right, so far?
2 Wednesday night games.
If you
were
the first Wednesday night game you had could have been on left. It just didn't happen.
And have Tom Carroll.
Bush, I'm glad you brought it up because speaking of Union Hill left, we are also a turf team. We don't play well on grass. We're a turf team.
You haven't lost on turf, Em. That's a great spin zone. You haven't lost on turf.
He is a champion on turf.
That field's going to be done.
Him and Tom Carroll, both champions on turf.
Right when the calendar strikes July, you guys are fucked.
If you were a doctor, what would your diagnosis be here? A third of the way into the season, we're well into the second third of the season.
Delusion.
I just told.
Are you talking about John's personal health or his team health?
No, we don't.
Yes.
We don't have time.
Yes. I just told you.
You didn't.
You
made a lot of guttural noises that felt like words. And
listen,
he's doing coach speak when he should be ripping the shit out of his team, and I don't appreciate it.
Well, ripping the shit out of your
team. Hold somebody accountable. Even if it's yourself.
Okay, you want me to hold somebody accountable? It's the entire roster.
There you go.
Besides
hash it out. Somebody's got to take some leadership on this team. Somebody's got to take some of the burden off Tom's shoulders.
Again, no.
I'll say this in your defense, John. This is not the platform to hash it out with your team.
No, absolutely.
This is the platform for
the fucking spin zone.
This is the platform for Dom to give his opinion.
Yes, Dom, go ahead.
Bush to give his opinion, and then me to give my opinion. And then you guys can talk about it later.
I'm forcing him to give my own opinion and what I think all three of our opinions are of this team currently.
Go ahead. What's your opinion?
My opinion is basically what I just said is somebody needs to step up. Somebody needs to help Tom out. Somebody needs to take control of this outfield because where I saw some of these people being positioned last night and how deep they were for some of these people, where the fuck is anybody playing?
Couldn't agree more, Rush. I saw it last night. I saw it Sunday night. And listen, I'm friends with a lot of the guys on this team, so I feel like I can be a little bit more brutally honest than I would be talking about maybe Team Pollock or Team Marrone or something like that. I saw it last night. I saw it Sunday night. I saw it when they played us. I saw it their other primetime game. It's disgusting. It's disgusting what I'm seeing.
This is ridiculous. Listen, you guys are right. We're 2-5. It's been ugly. We're an ugly 2-5 too. Some of these losses are bad. Like last night was very, very bad. So was the week before. This is how sports work. The one thing I don't want to see is a bunch of whining and crying, and that I hate this team. I wish I was. I want to stop playing. Blah blah blah. And I'm not seeing that. I think all we got to do is just keep competing. It's underhand softball. It's a draft league. We're 7 games. We're not 0-15. We're not 1-14. We're 2-5. There's going to be some internal conversations between our team because we do need to change some things. But what are you going to do? This is sports. This is how it goes. Somebody's got to suck. And by the way, I didn't put 2019 Washington Nationals as my name for this podcast for no reason.
And understandably so, but speaking from the perspective of somebody who has won only 3 games in a season, it can snowball really fast. You say that you're only 2-5 right now.
Let me ask you this: how are the attitudes after that? How were the attitudes during that season?
You guys, honestly, because of the team that we were, and because it was Cowboy, and it was just that group of guys, most of them were kind of used to it because Cowboys teams didn't really perform well.
Right, so you're not competing.
But we were very competitive and we were still losing. But you guys last night were dejected. You guys are just sulking. There's no positive movement.
That I disagree with. I don't think we were sulking. For a team that won by 10 runs, I don't know if we were sulking.
You guys have moments where a guy gets a hit and you want to kind of build that energy, and then it dies so quick.
Yeah, because we're not getting hits. For what happened?
Maybe mix one there too.
We're trying. For what? Listen, because
is first pitch swinging trying?
Are you talking
It's
about
a
me?
serious question.
You talking about me now? No, you're not.
It's not just you. It's a lot of people.
There's so many people.
Go ahead,
on, Dom.
Go ahead, Dom.
I don't, sometimes you got to make pitchers pitch. I think it was a little windy. It was late at night. Like, people are swinging first pitch. They're swinging 3-1. Like a base runner is a good thing. But honestly, don't know if your offense is your problem.
We have more than one problem.
I think you only have one problem.
No, we have more than one problem.
What's the one problem, Dom?
I think from this problem, every other problem comes from. It's like
I sort of agree with that. So you're saying we're not hitting, and then the rest of the problems are coming from that. Let me say this: the problems I'm not worried about. The defensive problems are going to be tough to fix, and we got to address that. The hitting problems,
I don't think hitting's your problem.
I cannot get access to these fucking year-to-date stats, despite the fact that everyone else in the league has.
You guys have the lowest batting average in the league.
Yes, we do.
I think that both sides of the ball are a problem right now. And just to touch on the game last night briefly, it's a lot of credit to Frank's team. They played really well. They hit the ball really well. They chose to challenge certain guys. Seemed like they had a game plan. But you let Frank off the hook a little bit last night, I think. Frank didn't look great, but you guys made him look great. He looked a little wild, and I think you guys chased a lot of pitches. Regardless of if Fogarty sucks at calling flat.
Went 0 for 4 against us last week.
0 for 3, had a sack fly and an intentional walk. But that doesn't have anything to do with what I visually see, just because my performance sucks. And we'll get into that later when we talk about our game from Sunday night.
I do think you guys only have one problem.
Listen.
It's not your hitting.
Tommy woke up last night, but on the season still below where he is going to finish at the end of the year. I'm below where I'm going to finish at the end of the year. Juan, Laps, Jeff. I'm not. These are names that I'm just not worried. Like when you're talking about hitting slow pitch soft, I'm just not. I mean, besides myself, I'm just not worried about these names. I'm not worried about them.
You know what the biggest problem is?
What is it?
Is Marty alive?
Yeah.
The biggest problem is you think your hitting is your biggest problem.
Go ahead, Dom.
I just put the stats up for him, and Dom, I think this is where we were talking a little bit offline, and we wanted to have a nice discourse. Let's have this discourse because I think we're at different agreements. Your hitting's not your problem, right? You guys, let's be honest here, right? What are they averaging stat wise? Let's pull up the stats, right? They're averaging 7.4 runs per game.
And
it is not the lowest in the league.
44.
Second lowest. It's not the lowest in the league. Is there something to be desired?
Can I point something out real quick? We're the second lowest runs per game in the league, and we're the second lowest record in the league. Sounds like that's our problem.
Third least average runs scored. So you're bottom in record, you're bottom in runs for, you're bottom in runs against.
What are we in giving up runs?
I just said you're third. Worst.
Okay.
Yeah. 12.1. There's a 12.2 and there's a 12.5.
Let me just say it.
Let's hear it.
You guys cannot come into every inning down 6-9 runs. That is your batting average is a product of that mentality and that feeling. The way you guys play defensively is a product of the problem. They have to play at the fence. They have to play so far back.
No.
I get it.
They don't have to play at the fence.
Can I be honest with you here, Ham? I think for the sanctity of this conversation, you have to eat this and mute. And then you can circle back after Dom and I make our points.
Go ahead.
All right.
What I would like to see is better play out of the pitcher. And that is a reason why the balls are being hit very hard. There's a reason why Tom went from the shortstop on the best team last year, the lowest ERA, to a guy that looks like he maybe should be playing second base. I played with Juan all year last year. he looks like he should be at first base, and he was an incredible second baseman for me. What's happening, I think, is balls are getting hit really hard in a lot of places, and because Josh, when he pitches, he jumps. He cannot defensively field his position the same way. Even Frank fielded the position, but there's no reason why you're a foot taller than Frank and 30 years younger that Frank should be playing better defense than you. It is, at this point in the league, probably the second most important position defensively behind shortstop in the infield, because not only can you see where the ball's going, you know where you're controlling the pitch, and you have to cover the middle of the field where a lot of guys go. And if you cannot get batters 7 through 13 out in this league, you cannot win no matter how much you score. And then you come in to the dugout down 9, down 6. Everyone wants to swing hard and get it all back right away. It's so much of a luxury for a pitcher to pitch ahead with a lead, and the opposite when you're pitching from behind, because now you're giving cookies. People are taking walks. Right. Defensively, they're taking the hardest swing they can take, and now you're getting beat above your head at the fence. You got 11, 12s, 13s hitting doubles. Now you're like, okay, we got to all just be at the fence. We have to hedge our bets, let things fall in front of us instead of behind us. And what I would like to see is Josh to kind of, instead of jumping forward, I think his pitches, even like he's throwing the ball with so much forward momentum and speed, he's increasing the ball rotation and the speed in which they can hit the ball back at your defense the way he pitches. And he's moving forward in an unbalanced position to play defense. So I would like to see him throw a pitch where his body leans backwards and he can fall backwards. He can get some different spin on the ball, and he can help out Tom and Juan up the middle. And then I think you see guys swing at worse pitches. You get easier outs. The balls aren't line drives. They're pop-ups. And then you play better defense. And now you come into that game down 1-0. Maybe Dennis O'Connor smashes a ball. But to get 8 hits in a row with 2 outs means that everyone's taking their best swing and having great contact. You guys didn't make errors, nothing. Imagine you come in with only giving up 1. Your top scores 3 that inning. And instead of just chipping a lead in half in the first inning, you're ahead. Now he can play. He can throw more garbage. People swing more. Your defense is loose. People are swinging a little tighter on LaRocca's team. And Anthony Fazzino isn't 3-hopping the fence in center field. And that's
Frank Thomas.
I'll say this, Dom, and I think you make a completely fair point where before the season, you were on this podcast and you power ranked your pitchers, and I literally said that Josh Walker is not a top 18 pitcher in this league and shouldn't be pitching, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got drafted as a pitcher. I will stand by that, and I do think he leaves a lot to be desired. He should be able to field the middle better. Like, that's a fact. We're at the point with the season when it comes to Team Carroll that Josh Walker, what you've gotten through 7 games of Josh Walker, is exactly what Pollock, a playing team game last year, got out of Josh Walker. So when you're Tom and you're in the draft room and you're drafting somebody like Josh Walker to be your only rostered pitcher, you're dealing with that. So 2 things have to happen. Either 1, you need to draft Josh Walker with a plan to make him a better pitcher, whether it's putting in work, whether it's talking to him. Hey, Josh, did you get better? Josh, do you want help with this? I think you should do this better. I think you need to do X and Y. This guy likes to pull the ball. Maybe let's throw it outside. This guy likes to go the other way. Let's maybe throw it inside, right? Are you supplying Josh Walker with the tools to be better, or does he not want to be better? Right? I think that's one thing.
Can I pitch in now? Can I say something about my own teammates?
Go on.
First of all, listen, I've played every game with these guys. Josh Walker, listen, the last game, Dom, I agree with you. The fielding was not great. I don't know how much.
In every game, John.
Marty, that's what I was about to say. You guys have not seen every game. I promise you, there are games and there are lots of innings where it is not Josh's fault.
We've seen 4 of your 7 games.
Oh.
No, Johnny.
You've seen 4 of my 7 games, Lush? What are they?
So I've played against you, and I watched you play last night. Martin's played against you, and Dom has played against you.
So you're combining it. Your opinions have seen 2 games each. I've seen every game. I'm telling you right now. If I did not believe this, I would not defend him on the pod. Not every single inning, not all these bad innings are Josh's fault. There's a lot of very soft hit balls that are Doug. Ush, you watched the fucking game. Doug hit 3 15-mile-an-hour off the bat exit velos for triples that got multiple runs.
That was a single with a 2-base error. But
that's my thing, John.
Base error.
That's my thing with your team, John.
Yes,
I understand.
So that sucks.
That's what I've been getting at, right? It's Josh Walker is what he is, right? And when you draft him as your pitcher,
I disagree with.
He is what he is, right? So no. We're 7 games in, John, and Josh Walker is what your pitcher is. He's not getting any better. He's not getting any worse. He is your pitcher for the next 2/3 of the season. Josh Walker in this form is your pitcher. Absolutely if he gets better, so be it. What needs to happen right now, because you're about to go into a doubleheader on Sunday, and you're playing Pollock, and you're playing another good team that I just had up, and I changed the page for. You're playing a good team, though. Pollock's not a good team. Goddard, good team. What's about to happen is you're about to lose 2 games, and you're really about to be behind the 8 ball at 2-7, staring in the first week, the first Wednesday after. Because if you wake up Monday morning and you guys are 2-7, you guys are in for a long year. And here's what I would love to see happen. And what I would love to see happen is I would love to see all 12 of you motherfuckers outside of Josh Walker look at yourself in the mirrors. And here's what I want to see. I want to see a defensive change. I've been on this podcast multiple times talking about how I don't think changing your defensive alignment every week is a good thing. I've talked about it with Kleschinsky.
We haven't done that.
I've talked about it with
that's what you're saying.
At least one other team. I don't remember. But I've talked about it with Kleschinsky, how they change their defense every inning, and I don't think it's a good thing. What I've seen, 7 games with the exact same defense, is not going to change. You're going, and John, I love you. You're one of my best friends. You're going to continue to not make every play at third. Joe Piccarello is not going to be in the right place in right center field every inning.
Who's good at third?
Ian and Andrew Parker in right field are continuing to be a problem. Juan at second base is continuing to throw the ball around.
Okay.
Brett in left field is continuing to be a good player.
Thank you.
Brett is one of the best right fielders in the league. Brett is a average left fielder. Nicky Lapps at first base has continued to be all right. Okay? So here's what I want to see. Because 7 games in, it's not worked. It has not worked. 7 games in has not worked one bit. One bit has not worked. Give me this defense. You in left field. I want to see Easton in right field. I want to see Juan at third, and I want to see Ian in second base. I want to see a little bit of Parker at first base. Parker might need to catch 3 innings until you guys figure it out. Because what is happening cannot continue to happen.
Giaglio needs to play second base for at least 3
You've done a great job not letting me cut you off despite my attempts. I don't think Juan is going to play second. Juan is a very good fielder.
Why?
I've seen it for several years.
He throws the ball around 2 to 3 times a game, costing you 4 to 7 bases.
You're trying to make a change based off of 7 games. The guy has been fantastic.
That's a third of the season.
The guy has been fantastic for 2 years up the middle of the infield. Why would we put him at third base? He doesn't have fun. The guy is a second base.
Because he can't throw the ball around at third base.
Then we need him to stop. We need him to stop.
It's been 7 games. How hasn't he stopped?
Those are mental errors. Like
John, we're a third of the way through the season.
Can I go through? Like, we're spending so much fucking.
John, I'm gonna make the final point here.
Spending time on my team right here. Can I just go through the couple? Real quick, Dom. Sorry. Can I go through the couple of things you said and just give my quick thoughts? I agree with you on Parker. I've told a lot of guys on our team I don't think he can play right field. I think Ian has to play right field. Ian's been fine in right field. We just need to move him around. Same with Piccarello. I tried to put it on Lapps to move those guys around. He says they don't listen. I don't know. Whatever. We got.
You're relying on the wrong guy to put the outfielders in
position. Okay, fine.
Relying on the first
whatever.
Put the outfielders in position.
Juan Gallardo is a second baseman.
It's got to be Jeff.
Juan Gallardo's a second baseman. Give me a break if you're telling me that guy's got to play a different position. No, enough.
Juan can't play third base. He doesn't have the arm for it. I love Juan. He played shortstop for us. I saw him do it.
He's a second.
He makes the plays up the middle. He's a second baseman.
You don't need an arm to play third.
You know what else? You can keep talking.
Dom's been on this podcast saying he's a third baseman.
He's still better. He's good at. He's your second base.
I want to go back to the Walker thing real quick. I agree. I don't think Walker, and he's going to get a text from me. Now it has to be before this releases. It's got to be right when we fucking hang up this call.
Put on your calendar.
I don't think he is trying to field the middle. I think he's focusing on trying to make good pitches. And I like playing with Josh Walker. I do not want him to come off the mound. I really don't. I like the way he competes. Marty, this is not your team.
I will say,
if he's focusing on trying to make good pitches, then he's not doing a good job. Because everything is flat.
Well, you went 0 for 4 on him. You went 0 for 4.
That's because I
Josh.
stink.
I just want this on the record. I'm pro Josh.
I am also pro Josh, but I want to see some adjustment. I'm not trying to shit on him.
There needs to be an adjustment, which is why I'm going to text him, because he needs to think about fielding while he's pitching. Because you're right, though. I mean, he does the jump. I don't care if he keeps doing the jump and then figures out a way to field, but we do need to field the middle. That's all I got to say. Josh, hopefully that affects you.
God muted him. Let me say that, Martin, everything that you said, I agree with 100%. And in doing that whole rant, your soliloquy there, as beautiful as that was, you essentially make my point, which is that everything that they have is where it needs to be, and it's as good as it needs to be. And the one thing, and I'm not saying that Josh isn't the pitcher, shouldn't be a pitcher, shouldn't be a pitcher. I'm saying that the quickest route to improvement for your team is in that one position right there. If he learned to throw a ball with a little bit more height and learned to move back 5 feet, he would, you guys are you got to get ready for the wedding, and you got to go to the gym and lose weight so you can fit into the tux. Like, everybody's got to be better. You're 2-5. You're looking down the barrel of 2-7.
You would think we were 0-11.
I mean, basically are at this point.
I did a horrible job of keeping our team off of this podcast. Terrible.
I'll be honest with you, John. Hand up, we didn't let you.
You didn't let us. You didn't let me.
No, we didn't let you.
Me.
But you're right, Dom. You're right, Dom.
Dude, give me an hour with this kid every week for the next 6 weeks.
Listen, we got 15 games left. We got a lot of time to try to figure it out. I'm not. The thing that makes me happy is we don't have like a super old bottom of the lineup that's never going to fit. Like, these are fixable problems.
My concern, and listen, like, Josh Walker can get better. Sure. If we're having this conversation in August and Josh Walker gets better, then yeah, we're chilling.
Like, there's a road.
But guess what? They got 2 games Sunday. And one of them is against a team that could possibly be in the play-in game, and they're in their division. So, like, it's getting late early, because by the next time this podcast talks, they're going to be at 9 games, and they could be 2-7, and 2-7 means play-in game, like, locked in, right? So what's the immediate fix? Josh Walker fixing his pitching motion, or us trying something differently to stop the fucking arteries from bleeding?
I think one is a more valuable solution, but it is more long-term. And the other one you can use as a short-term fix while you get the long-term one going.
I think part of the solution is Josh Walker not pitching the ball until, John, you and Tom, wherever you are on the field,
take your time,
agree that the outfielders are in the same spot.
Here's the thing.
The game can't move on until he throws the ball. So, like, right. If the outfielders aren't in the right spot, why is he pitching the ball?
Because he's young, he doesn't know yet.
The outfielders.
Well, tell him. Someone's got a coach.
Yeah, I mean, like the outfielders aren't moving. Tom is busy telling Josh to field his position, and I'm busy moving Easton around because that's the guy that's behind me.
Hot, but still,
that's
I'm at third base. Like I can try. I yell at right field sometimes. Listen, what? Oh, there's an echo here.
What I'm hearing is Johnny needs to be in left center so he can navigate everyone. Listen,
I just want some more leadership, man. Like, Josh doesn't have to pitch when he has to pitch.
Well, it's just bounce out and come back in. It usually works.
No, I'm good. My mic was being weird because my laptop hard reset and it was like a staticky thing, so I had to shut my mic off real quick.
All right. Sorry, Don.
Listen, did you just honestly, you gotta want to get better as a team, and that goes for each person individually.
Correct.
Like, there's a reason why I bothered the shit out of Martin and Nick Toronto and Steve and all, like, to come and hit with me for 40 minutes on a Wednesday night. Like, yeah, I don't want to hit the way that I hit for the entire season for my team, and you gotta just want to fucking go and do that, and then go home and practice what you learn. And if you don't want to do that, that's okay, but then you are what you are.
One of you guys in the outfield, whether it's Piccirillo or it's Goldrosen, needs to take control of that outfield. And if Jeff doesn't want to be that voice, but he wants to tell Joe where to move people, and then Joe even says, like, hey, move a couple steps in, go this way, so be it. You guys in the infield can't worry about the outfield, whether, like, you have 3 guys in the infield worrying about different spots in the field where to line themselves up.
Somebody's
got to take control in that outfield.
Correct. And we're aware of that. We've been aware of it for a couple of weeks. We tried Laps this week. I still trust Laps.
It's got to. I know.
Maybe we'll have to do more than him.
I trust Laps. Laps has been in this league for 4 years. He's very invested. He knows the guys, but, like, at the end of the day, it's tough for somebody in the infield to line up somebody in the outfield. You don't really know how deep they are.
Well, Ush, it's got to be somebody in the infield.
The answer is simple. I think the answer is very simple. This is as straightforward as it comes, right? Is it Laps's problem? Is it your problem? This is the solution, right? Take it or leave it, John. Josh Walker, before he throws every fucking pitch, should look at Tom Carroll and say, hey, are our outfielders in the right spot? Because I swear to God, if you play Mike Villani, Doug Cohen, Josh Garcia, and Eric Becker in the same place in right field again, I'm going to need Pat Pingaro's cardiologist. I can't do it. I can't do it for you guys anymore. So Josh Walker needs to take a second before he throws a pitch, and he needs to say, hey, are our outfielders in the right spot? Yes? Then he can throw the pitch.
Listen, I don't disagree with you.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm as panicked as you are.
You should be panicking. You should be panicking.
Sports.
I know you're it's a little bit of a front, I feel like, because you're trying to, like, do this whole thing for your team, and I respect it. But, and I don't expect
no.
I
just know how sports work. We're 7 games into the season.
You even look like you're in a panic room right
season.
now.
I saw not a third of the season.
I already made the joke about the fucking bro. We're only a third away in the season. Exactly. Like I already made the fucking jokes about the turf and the temperature and all that shit. Like, now I'm fucking 9 high noons in right now. I'm obviously being serious at this point.
All right, the coroner's taking this horse away. It's been dead for a while.
All right, let's move on. Team LaRocca, though, we got to give them their flowers. They won, obviously, this game, and they won against Rosenstock on Sunday, which translates us into the Sunday recap. But Team LaRocca is rolling 5-2, first in their division. They are sitting third in the league right now. Team LaRocca has figured it out a little bit. 103 runs for. They got the tied for the best run differential in the league. They are who we thought they were, Team LaRocca, and they're a force, and they're going to continue to be a force. Dom, what did you make of this game they played against Tom and Rosenstock?
I think they played. I think they played good against Tom. They're a good team. There's really, we can't say all the things we just said and then tout this as a big win, but they did what they needed to do. They got a job done. It'd be hypocritical to talk about what an incredible blue chip win this was after the conversation we just had for 30 minutes. So I won't do that. But the win against Stock, I thought, was very good. They scratched and clawed. I thought that. You want me to do like a recap on that game? Do we want to jump right into it?
Let's answer this question. They won 14-7 on East Francis. Was it ever close? Because I know Sags and Leonardi combined for 2 hits, which is obviously not ideal.
Yeah, I called them Shags, and they did not have a good game.
So I was also there. I saw a good portion of this game as well. I think it was a close game up until the I think they collided when Allegretti and Harper collided in somewhere in the middle of the outfield. And then LaRocca's team ended up scoring, I want to say, 5 runs with 2 outs after that.
Yep.
And that was kind of really where the game kind of blew up for him.
What I was going to say is this game was 5-4 going into the 5th, a nice nip and tuck back and forth. And Phil had a bad game, and Sean had a bad game, and they made mistakes in the field all over the place. Their bottom, they just got a little bit more hits. Like there was one inning where Papa Sags hit a double. Like they've got two runners on. The bottom of the lineup is producing. They got a runner on second. They already scored 2 runs in the inning, and now you got 1, 2, 3 coming up, and that runner at second never scores. And then from there, I believe that was the 4th inning. Frank came and took a 5-4 lead, and then it was just kind of. I really thought that Stock let them off the hook a little bit too, but again, Frank made a great play. Frank made a couple great plays in this game. One against Harp. Their defense is really good. Their first baseman, the new replacement, had a little bit of a tough day, and I just didn't think it just felt like Stock was like, yeah, we're 6-0, and then while they were having kind of the bad game, they were like, all right, these Sean and Phil, let them have their bad game at the same time. We'll just wash it away. We're 6-1. Let's keep it rolling. And it just looked like they look like a very pedestrian team. But we've seen them not be very pedestrian, and I would like to say Frank has something to do with that. And I think, I think if you ask Phil, if him and Sean have a little bit of a different day, this game is probably 8-4 or 9-4 instead of 4-3 or 5-4 early on. And then Frank's got a tough road to hoe, but they have the team to hoe it. So they did a good job. It was a really good win. Probably against the best team in the league, who was due for I sound like a curmudgeon, but I wanted this game to be way better. Like I wanted Stock to have a great game and Frank to have a great game, and not Frank to come and step up to the moment and Stock to lay their egg. And, it's a 22-game season, so you're going to lay eggs all over the place. I just didn't want it to be this. This game was so good. I was so excited for this game. And that's pretty much how it went. Jay-Z had a great game. Shout out to that guy. I don't know if he's got Ponce de Leon tied up in his basement or if he just found the Fountain of Youth, whatever's going on. But my God, even last night, he just comes in at the sixth inning, just chops it up, gets a couple at bats. But he had 2 big 2-out RBIs in this game when it was really close. And Frank, didn't walk anyone, nothing for free, and he battled against their top 5.
12 of the 13 guys had hits for LaRocca in this one. That's tough off of a guy like Ronnie. Like 22 hits is a very good day. 4 doubles and 17 singles. Like that's a huge day out of off a good pitcher. So yeah, the credits to LaRocca for sure.
Yeah, I think Ronnie, between Ronnie, Phil, and Sean, they were 2 for 10. And then you throw Harper in the mix, they were 3 for 14. So that's, even Wally had 2 hits. Papa Sags had 2 hits. Cruz.
Papa Sags having your only double is a problem.
Yeah, he hit That was awesome. It was, he came up. Phil was kind of telling him where to stand, where to attack the ball, and then bang, he just hit a real nice double. And it's really awesome to see, a father and son kind of play together. It's nice to see, I couldn't imagine my dad listening to any advice that I have to give to him. So it's just a nice, heartwarming moment. And then they got shellacked. So, good feels gone away. But I think this is an aberration for Rosenstock. I think LaRocca is very good. Are they the second best team? Are they the fourth best team? That's what I'm not sure yet. Top 5 for sure, but where in that top 5? They do have the best shortstop in Marlboro softball, so that probably closer to
Cole's on Goldfarb.
Oh, okay.
Disavow.
The
best shortstop is on my team.
Yeah, I agree.
Sorry, Tino and Courtney, but
I mean, for Team LaRocca, right? Like, sick win. You take that. You ride with those. You let that confidence take you forward, right? And then you carry it over to Wednesday, and you have another big game. You scored 17 runs, and then you keep going and see what happens. For Rosenstock, I think it's more of a throwaway game. Like, that's not us. Let's be better going forward. And for Frank, it's the opposite. It's, hey, fuck yeah. We just beat the best team in the league. We're a good fucking team.
I think if you ask Rosenstock, he really probably wanted that game, not for remaining undefeated, but just knowing that the level of caliber of a captain that Frank is, he really wanted to get that win, I think. And for Frank, great job pitching. He knows the top end of that lineup really well between Harper, Sags, both Carlins. I know he had said the day before that Leonardi was a really hot hitter against him, but then, just being the competitor that Frank is, really just buckling down, trying to make the best pitch possible in each at-bat for Leonardi. I don't think he thought any, he knew he had to focus in those at-bats against Leonardi because of how hot of a hitter he is against him. So I think big credit to Frank to hold this lineup to only 7 runs.
Yes, I'm most impressed. Everyone's doing everything on that team that I thought they would. I mean, Dennis O'Connor is, different category as a rookie, but I'm most impressed with Frank on this.
No walks either for Frank. I just noticed. He didn't give up 1 walk. Only 1 walk total in this game.
I tried so hard.
What, to not bring up the walks?
No. To walk. I got him 3-1.
I mean, I saw you swing first pitch once. I was like, wow, that was
my only hit.
Very uncharacteristic. Very uncharacteristic of you. I was like, wow.
Yeah. Listen, when it's second,
keep
third,
the people guessing. Never let them know you're getting next move.
Yeah, exactly. Gotta keep listening. Gotta keep them on their toes.
Does this team go and come and go with Frank on the mound? Like, is that their biggest stopper right now, is Frank as a pitcher? Like, what's going to get in the way of this LaRocca team, from pulling away in this division or being one of the best teams in the league all year? Like, what's the thing with them?
I'd probably say the consistency in their lineup currently. I feel like they've had a lot of games where they do put up a lot of runs, and then they have a game against, when they played us, when I wasn't there, they put up 6. Seems like and even in the opening game against Polzer, they didn't put up a lot of runs. I think that Frank knows the league very well, where he can be a good pitcher. It's just a matter of executing. He knows what he wants to do, and I think that that's a big part of being able to be a pitcher in this league. It's underhand, so, it is what it is. But I think with some of these rookies in the lineup, some of these guys who maybe could be a little inconsistent at times, that's more of what will make this team go or not. And we've seen more times than not that this lineup will put up runs more times than it will.
Let me ask you this, Dom. They currently sit 5-2, top of the division. There's a couple. Goldfarb's got 2 wins, so they're up half a game on them. Will this team be representing the Central Division come playoffs?
I don't know. I think Goldfarb's team is better, honestly. Whether the final record will reflect on that or not, because I just think that Usha's team has a top 5 shortstop as well, but they also have a top 5 pitcher, a top 5 outfield, a top 5 left center fielder. Like, I think they have just a little bit more. And that little bit more, I think I would like. I mean, great matchup. I'd love to see it. Love to see
Not
that.
Just the top 5 shortstop, number 1 shortstop.
Dom, can I just point out one thing between these two teams?
What?
Frank plus 46 run differential.
Yep.
Goldfarb plus 3.
Yeah,
So,
but for the first 3 weeks of the
run
season, they played with.
We lost to Byko week 2 when we didn't have Cole, we didn't have Whalen, and we were missing one other guy.
I think it was Villani.
Someone not
No, we had the Villanis. No Alex. So
the captain.
Oh, so no one grounding into double plays for you.
No, but we were missing our second baseman.
They're a very good team.
And
Frank,
score that game?
A lot to 3, maybe.
16-3.
Okay.
That was what has done our.
Still 30 more to go. Still 30 more to go. If you take out that game for run differential.
What's Frank's most marquee win?
Wallman at Muni. It was like 22.
Well, Frank also took down the 6-0 Rosenstock, so it's probably that.
Probably that one.
Well, that's the
but
marquee.
They also beat
that's
a
the big
good
win, but I think Dom was talking about in terms of run differential, where it was their biggest margin of victory.
I think Goldfarb's team is a little bit better. That's why I say I don't know. Is Frank's the second best team, or are they the fourth best team? Because
I mean, that was my first time.
That
was my first time getting to watch Frank's team last night because obviously I wasn't there. I'm very impressed with their team. I don't think that they're a bad team at all, and they shouldn't be taken lightly. So I'm just going to throw my 2 cents.
Definitely shouldn't be taken lightly.
Look, yes, this Dom, who's their marquee win. Let me read you what they've done so far. Right?
Please.
They lost to Polzer opening day. I think opening day is more than not a throwaway game. Right? They lose to Polzer. They beat Wallman. They beat Goddard. They beat Byko.
Goddard where?
Three. They beat Goddard at Swim Club.
Okay.
3 good teams, right? Wallman, Goddard, Byko, 3 good teams. That's a fact.
Yes.
Right? They lose to Goldfarb.
Right.
Maybe a game you want to win. Whatever.
For sure.
They beat Rosenstock, right? So they've played, and then they beat Carroll. So you've played 5 good teams.
Yeah.
And you come away from them 4-1, right? That's a sign of a good team.
Yeah,
that's a sign of a very good
team that I'm arguing in favor of has also done that same exact thing. What I'm saying is I think Stock is 1. At 2 is either Goldfarb or LaRocca. 3 is Kessler, and then 4 is the other one of Goldfarb, LaRocca. And I think I don't have enough information to put one or the other.
That's completely fair. I think that's completely fair. All right. Anything else on either of these 2 teams, or shall we move on?
Let's move it along, baby.
It's about to be a 4-hour episode. We got Meyer. It may be the shocker of the week. Meyer destroying Goddard.
Yeah, we destroyed him for an hour.
What happened in this game, Dom? 17-8 over Goddard. Team Myers figuring it out. The winners in 3 of their last 4.
Yeah, I mean, this was a great game for us. This was a great test. I still think Goddard is a top 8 team. I think they're so good. But, like any team in this league, just on the math, if you can get 7 through 13 to hit 250 or less, you are going to win. Sailor, Toronto, and Toronto, they are all 2 for 3, 3 for 4 against me. But they were Gomolka even 2 for 3, but they just didn't do it all at the same time. And then if you look at the bottom of their order, only really 1 hit from Sarcona, 1 hit from Heights, not at the same time. This is the key to trying to win a game. I think my defense is fantastic, so I have a lot of help. And we're finally hitting this ball. Big field, small field. I think, we're just a team that needs to just hit up and down. We're fast. I just think that we are. I think we're almost the same team as you, Martin. We're just a little bit better looking pitcher, and that's it.
Dude, there's no Andy Kessler slander allowed. Like, that's unacceptable, Dom. Have you seen your haircut?
Yeah, well, that's why I'm saying this now. I have the confidence of a man that cares about his appearance. No, I think I'm excited to go back through the division again. I think we're shaking off the rust, and I think we are. I mean, what are we, 7th in the standings right now? And we were basically buried for the first 3 weeks. So, dude, we scored 4 runs in our first 18 innings of Marlboro softball this season. Like, talk about a slow start. So, I like the way we're going. I still think this Goddard team is very good. Their lineup is like a big problem. The best gift that we can do to everyone as a league is make sure they can't pick a field. And so I think if they can't pick a field, I think that's a good act of service for everyone else. But I think we're good on any field. We're getting better. I mean, the Dave Meyer team isn't going to go quietly. So
you guys are going to be driven by heart, and
Dave's
never going to give up. So
yeah,
I think that you guys are in a good spot. I completely agree with what you've said about Team Goddard. Also, having played them, they gave us a battle with their backup pitcher, and I think that I agree with what you said regarding like the field. Can't let them choose their own field.
Yeah, Union Hill.
They're going to be a problem. We played them at Union Hill towards the end of the season, and
what
I
a
know
fun game.
That's going to be a bloodbath again.
Yeah,
I think
a light show.
This game's really interesting to look at too, Dom. Like, you guys had 20 hits compared to their 16. Same amount of singles. You had 2 more doubles, a homer, a triple. Same amount of walks. Like, they just couldn't get the big hit? Like, is that what killed them?
Nothing together.
You walked 4 guys too. Were you feeling all right?
Now you walk guys, Dom?
No, yeah. No. What had happened was, I think in the 9th inning, it was like, in the 9th inning, it was 17-6, and we kind of just went and had a go have some fun inning. And they had their like whole top came back up again. So, like, if you took that 9th inning out where they scored 2 runs and got 5 or 6 hits, like, that's when the top came back up again. They all got hits. Like, the game ended on Jeff Goddard. So all their top 4 players got a hit when we were up by 11 runs. Just kind of, I don't love that for my personal ERA, but I also, you got to let guys get out and, enjoy. We're working hard. We're hitting. We're running the bases. Like, guys got to get out and play positions in the field. That's the time to do all that kind of fun stuff. So I give up the 2 more runs and 5, 6 more hits, whatever. So I think that's why it looks that way at the end. But they just did not, like I said, if Toronto got a hit, it's when I got Gomolka and Nick out. If Gomolka got a hit and Nick got a hit, it's the one time I got Saylor and Ant out. That was like, that's why I'm saying this team is very good. I think we have a defense just like you have the type of defense that maybe, and also Seth's team probably has the type of defense that gives this team a real big headache. And, we're starting to put it together. And I think we're hot. We're a little hot. First step 1 is get hot. Step 2 is be hot. Step 3 is stay hot. So we're well into phase 1 right now.
What's step 4?
Step 4 is fuck a supermodel. So let's see how it goes.
If you
sure, respect.
They got plus size ones now, folks.
Tom, so if you get that part done.
Who says I haven't already, dude? How dare you?
Well, with that haircut, it's not going to be that hard.
Onlyfans.com #
no, that's
Jazz Cactus Kitchen.
Where all the men go. God damn it. Ladies, if you're listening, and I know that you are, I am faster than 80% of snakes. So
80%.
Embrace debate real quick. Is Team Goddard the best 3 and 4 team of all time?
Yeah. So good, dude. I don't know the all-time, but I think they're the best 3 and 4 team in the league right now.
Is there any other 3 and 4 team this year?
Like
No, they're currently the only 3 and 4 team. So yeah, I think
they're the best 3 and 4 team.
I think they're the worst 3 and 4 team.
Are they the best sub 500 team?
Embrace debate. Are they the best 3 and 4 team or the worst 3 and 4 team?
Worst, easily the worst.
I'll say they're the best.
Yes, Dom, I think they're the best below 500 team just because the other teams are really pathetic and they're good. And that's as simple as that. It's just not even close.
Yeah.
Underrated.
Like +3 differential. They're the only team under 500 that has a plus differential. Yeah, it's easy. All right. Anything else on either of these two teams? Obviously, we were looking for Goddard to continue to make noise. Like they're always going to be a tough team. They're always going to be a topic of combo.
Nah, I'm good on these two.
All right, Ush, tell us about this Marrone Conti game because Conti continues to struggle and Marrone wins a game they should have won.
So watching this game back, honestly, both teams kind of frustrating a little bit. I took some detailed notes on this one just based off of like how the innings kind of broke down with the runs that were scored. So in the first inning, just bad defense out of Team Conti. Levine got on, followed by Amato hitting a double who should have been thrown out at second.
Yeah.
But a bad relay to Nicky had him turn to his right side away from the base. And Ryan was able to slide in safe. And then following that, Kyle hit a sac fly, drove in Jeremy. And then Tornetta beats Nichols, I think, who was in right center to start this game, maybe. I don't know who was in right center. But a ball to right center, Tornetta hits a home run. Early 3-0 lead for Marrone. Getting to the bottom of the first, though, Jomo leads off the inning. Good try, whoever was in left field for Marrone. Lead off home run inside the Parker. Conti singles, Nicky singles to set up the corners. Chip Costa hits a sac fly, cuts the lead. Kleschinsky hits a hard ball to first base, beats it out. Nicky goes to third, first and third, but they couldn't drive in the run. They down one. Second inning, Marrone adds on 1 run. Kind of a snooze fest for a little bit after that. Fourth inning comes along. Conti up. Costa leads off with a leadoff triple to left field again. I don't know whoever's in left field for Marrone just getting abused today or that day. Kleschinsky, another RBI single to the first baseman.
Rook.
Yeah, just abusing the infield. This kid's fast out of the box. Nichols singles. They got first and second, no outs. And then the following 4 batters, this drives me insane. Arnold, Nichols, and Arnold, Podos, Lil Mo, other Podos, all swing at first pitches. Nobody works in at bat.
Is that the inning where the ball drops and he doesn't run?
No. That's later. I have.
Oh, that's another disgusting inning from the Podai.
Yeah. So Joel Podos ends up getting on to load the bases, but then nobody wants to try and work in at bat. Lomo and Jay Podos both swing at the first pitches. They get out of the rest of that inning. No runs scored. So it's still 4-3 Marrone in the 4th inning.
That's
so
hard.
Conti just continues.
That's hard to hear, Osh.
Conti just continues to shoot themselves in the foot in this game, and it just kind of seems to be a theme for the rest of the game. The 5th inning comes. Glenn leads off with a single. Mike Amato singles. Galliano then singles after a pinch runner. So the bottom 3 of this Marrone lineup comes through for them. They get an RBI. Klecko flies out to right, and then moves the runners over. Levine RBI single. And then this is the controversy I bring up in the beginning of the podcast. So Ryan flies out to right center. Jeremy gets thrown out at second before Galliano scores, but Tracy's out in the middle of the field making the right call to see what goes on at second. So he doesn't see what goes on behind him. I believe he does count that run. So ends up being at the end of that inning, I guess 7-3 Marrone. And then in the bottom of the inning, Jomo leads off, gets out. Greg and Mike both single. Bad throw again from the left fielder. Just a bad day for whoever's out there.
Is that
Greg
Rosenthal?
and Mike. I don't know. It could be. I don't know who plays left field for them because Klecko was at third. And I know that maybe it's Bob the Builder that inning. I know he plays first base for them sometimes.
They rotate those left fielders, yeah.
It's hard to see who's out there just because of how far back the swim club fence is, too.
Sometimes it's like Solano Jr., sometimes it's Bob the Buildy, sometimes it's Rosenthal Dom. Glenn does a different defense every pitch.
Both runners advance, so second and third. Nicky, another single who continues to stay hot. Got to give him
so
props.
Good this year, Nicky. He's been on fire.
Gets another 2 RBI single. 6-5 ball game here. 7-5 ball game because, again, don't know what goes on with that run. Chip Costa singles. Great relay by Marrone, though. Throws out Nicky at third to stop the bleeding a little bit in this inning. And then Kleschinsky swinging bunt. So he just abuses the infield again with his speed. Gets on. Nichols doubles. Cuts the lead to 7-6. Bottom of the sixth, because you kind of move on from here. Another little bit of lull in this game. This is the Joel Potos pop out. What
was the situation with that? That was gross.
So it was 2 outs, but last guy in the lineup, you bring it to the top potentially. You get a guy on base. Who knows what happens after that? Pops it up to the first baseman. Ends up landing. He just doesn't run out of the box.
He walked
could have been
backwards.
He was basically gave up on the whole play. Didn't give any commitment out of the box.
He went closer to his dugout than first base.
Yeah. Could have been on.
Is that what you want?
I mean,
that's what I do.
Maybe if you want the top of the lineup to come up with no outs, but I mean, that's kind of a back-breaking play at the same time where it's easy out. It was a pop-up to the infield.
It's a bad look.
To make that play.
It's a bad look.
And then the 7th inning kind of ends this game. The bottom for Marrone comes through once again. Amato and Galliano and Klecko, because Klecko leads off 3 straight singles, RBI single, and then Levine gets an infield hit to load the bases. Ryan drives in another 2. So they put up 5 in that top of the 7th, 12-6. Bottom of the 7th, Conti gets his last 2 runs, and that's kind of the game.
Even if he does run.
Just kind of a sloppy game from both teams, in my opinion, just watching this back. I mean, leaves, it's kind of, we are who we thought they were for both of these teams. I mean, Conti just seems to continue to shoot themselves in the foot. I don't know where Coach Mo was that
base
day.
Coaches. I went on a soliloquy last week. It was again this week. They just don't have base coaches out.
He said
he actually gave you a shout out in the live stream too. He goes to coach first, and this is in the inning where Jay Potos pops up and doesn't run it out. Conti's coaching first base. He goes, "Going to coach first base for you, Martin." Gives you a shout out in the live stream and just
hope he had a third base coach that inning.
I think. A really great thing about this league is that we play 1 through 13. And I think everyone knows that you're 12, 10, 11, 13, whatever. They're not going to be able to run as fast as everybody or be athletic or to play center field. But when they don't run to first base, I feel like it's
Yep.
Martin, if you hit a ball like that and you didn't run to first base, yeah, everyone would give you shit for it. But dude, you run through a fence to go catch a ball. You mean so. It's another thing when it's effort is free. Effort should be
hustle's free, baby.
And that's I think a minimum if you're gonna. I watched Mark Karp to go to a different game. He had 2 singles in this game, almost legged out a ball, and it's you want to see that out of those guys. That's juice, baby. That's fuck. Cameras had I won't get into that, but that's the difference between a team that's still together and a team that's fallen apart.
Yes.
I think right there.
Don, that'll fire up a team too. A bottom guy who doesn't have a lot of speed beating out an infield grounder.
Yes.
That'll get the boys going.
When Bruce Cotter gets a hit for our team, everybody's erect. Even Joe Caputo's back. Full on.
One thing too, when it comes to like Jay Podos, if you look at Charlie Hustle Award, is up there every single year. He might be the single most nominated player for any award in the history of the league. It is Jay Podos for Hustle.
I don't know.
So to like see him not run out up,
pop up behind
first base is crazy.
Wow. Okay. Even more interesting.
Yeah. Like, have you ever seen that guy catch a ball? Like, if he catches, obviously he catches his 3 innings. He backs up first base every single play. Wow. Don't matter who the ball is hit to. He backs up first place. That scares me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
Foul?
No, couldn't have been. Mike Amato was camped underneath it. It might have just hit the sun in a weird way behind his glove. And they still had time for Glenn to go recover first.
Wow.
You know.
Well, I mean, did Jay think it was foul? Is that why he didn't run?
No, because I'm saying Mike Amato was camped underneath it, like well fair.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's been nominated 10 times in the last 13 years for Charlie Hustle.
Wow, so you think that's a team vibe thing and not a personal thing?
Sounds like.
Because I mean, I don't.
You tell me.
I don't know the Podai, so I can't tell you whether or not.
I don't know.
I did not know he was nominated for an award that literally says I run every ball out to first base.
That ball was very much fair, by the way.
Yeah.
Even it looked like. I mean, it was a windy morning. It looked like maybe the wind brought it back in, but the second baseman even tried to like go behind Mike Amato to try and make this play. And it just still somehow found its way to land in the dirt. And Jay was halfway back towards the dugout.
Yeah, I mean, they got things to figure out. Otherwise, they're probably a shoo-in for the playing game.
I mean, good news for them. Greg got 4 hits. So, like, shout out to Greg for figuring it out a little bit.
Right? I like this team. I just don't get it.
I'm with you.
It just seems like when one guy has a good day, the other guys just don't show up. And it's just they can't all put it together at one time.
I don't have much for this Marrone team, like until like 22 regular season games for them. This Conti team though, like I was high on them after the draft, and then we played them in a scrimmage with their full 13, and I was like, oh, this team kind of stinks. And they've kind of been that team since then, but like they have names, like they should be better. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I expect we'll see them in the playing game. Currently shoot in for it.
Both teams that we were kind of both very high on to start the season between them and Bomenblit, I feel like leave a lot to be desired.
We can move on to Bomenblit. Dom, anything else on either Marrone or Conti, or shall we move on to this whack-ass Bomenblit Kessler game?
I have to mute now because my dog.
Big Mike.
Big Mike.
Shout out Big Mike.
He made the live stream last night.
Hell yeah, Big Mike. We'll move on to East Francis. Kessler 10, Bomenblit 6. Obviously, I'll go first with this one. Another pretty boring game. I think the biggest takeaway is that Ben Kessler is unbelievable at getting on first base.
Judy Kessler?
I mean Ben Kessler, the guy whose exit velocity is really, 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 really
low.
And
Judy Kessler.
Like the biggest takeaway is, I agree. This Bomenblit team leaves a little bit to desire. I'll double down on this. I don't know if he listens to the podcast. If he does, I'm sure I'll hear about it next time. Richie Bomenblit not shaking hands is some Bush League ass shit, and I would never subject myself to being represented to anybody who does that at any point in time.
Yeah, that was a little Bush League, honestly. Whether you're mad about how Ben got on base or not, you guys still lost the game. Just shake hands. You could call him a bitch after that if you want and keep it moving. Still at least shake hands.
Called him a pussy, and he's not shaking hands because Ben's a pussy. So shout out to Eric. He texted Ben, and they had a legitimate grown-up conversation about it, and all is good. I just wanted that on the record that not shaking hands post-game's Bush League.
I agree. I saw
And
that
we
happen.
won. We won an ugly game.
I saw that happen, and I did the fireworks after, and I was just like, I don't know about that.
We can talk any more about the Team Kessler if you guys want. We continue to just win games that are a little bit ugly and gross and boring to watch. I don't want to talk about it, or I'm here for it if you guys want to, but this Bomenblit team is good defensively, and I want to see a little bit more offensively from them, but defensively, they do everything correctly.
The only thing I'll add about your team is I don't want to see you guys fall into the same thing that like we fell into last year with Team Lombardi, where you win a lot of close games and then all of a sudden it's just kind of you can't pull it out later in the season. But other than
like you get the wrong part of the lineup up at the wrong time in the most meaningful game of the year and you don't rally. Like I could get that, Ush. That's a fair point. Yeah.
But other than that, I think you guys are a solid team. But this Team Bomenblit team, I feel like still just kind of trying to figure it out. They have a lot of streaky hitters. Their bottom is what it is. I feel like to some degree, they'll give you some games where it's really good, but I think the top needs to be a little more consistent. Tony had a decent game. I think other than that, I think Eric had a good game, but then other than that, I think the rest of the top of their lineup kind of left a little bit to be desired from this team here.
They had 6 hits from their top 4 hitters down throughout the rest of the game. That ain't going to do it.
Love to see this team maybe take a pitch or two one time also.
They out-hit us and lost, which I think is crazy also.
They don't make
Not timely hitting from them. Joe Tracy 1 for 4. Joey Bomenblit 0 for 4. Clamp hit well. Faris 0 for 3. I think
the difference in the game, the 6 walks from Cowboy, like 6 walks is a lot compared to Andy's 0.
I mean, yeah, if you want to equate it that way, you guys ended up like, if you want to count just for argument's sake, you count a walk for a hit. You had 4 more hits at that point. I just think that they just didn't come through at certain times. I feel like their hits, they had a lot of them, but they never like came together in bunches.
You both watched this game, Dom, Hemp. Any thoughts?
I thought that I had a lovely time just smoke a little cannabis in the woods with my friends. This game was uneventful. I miss Richie, not even shaking your hands.
Okay.
So, might as well be on the moon. I want more from this Bomenblit team, and I would like, I would like to see you. You know what annoys me about this game? I'll say this. I either wanted to see you beat the shit out of a team that I thought was good, or I wanted to see a good team be as good as I thought good as I thought they were. And neither of those things happened. The good team that I thought was good played bad. And the team that I wanted to see win a game with some separation did not. And so, the foliage was nice.
Which team is
a game occurred?
Which team is the one that you think is the, I guess, bad team that you wanted to see play good? Is that what you said?
Bomenblit.
Okay.
I think they're a good team that I wanted to see actually be good, and they were bad. And like you were just saying before, I couldn't agree with you more. I would like to see Marty's team win a game by a bunch of runs. And I know that happened week 1, but, that's...
It didn't happen.
Yeah, week 1
like you scored 7 in the first, and you gave us a couple.
Yeah,
they had the chance to really blow you guys out and make a statement to start the season, and that first inning looked like it. But then you guys kind of settled down. Your bench just took 3 weeks. You guys are the warm weather team.
Yeah. We're the Rays. But that's what I got. This was just a good one for you. You need to win. Another week of Bomenblit wondering if this team's going to put it together.
I'm still high on this Bomenblit team. I don't know where it kind of goes. They have the team to win this, maybe not win this division at this point because Rosenstock got off to such a hot start. But at 2-4 in this division, this is, I mean, not to put lipstick on a pig or anything, but it's not a bad division by any stretch, but this is by far the worst division in the league so far. And I don't think that they're as bad as their record shows at 2-4 in this division. I just think that they're, still trying to figure out where they're at. Yeah,
I felt that
games
way.
where they missed a couple guys, maybe.
But maybe they are. Now I'm into the maybe they are as bad. Maybe they are their record.
It's just hard for me to believe that when the Bomenblit trio is a good trio and they put together a solid outfield. I don't know. It's a weird look.
Yeah, you're not ready yet.
I mean, something that always resonates me, and you can go back and find it. Richie Bomenblit said his team will never be under 500 as long as he's a part of it with Eric. So this might be on the lookout for that.
And we'll put that on the.
That was years ago.
We'll put that on the
We're
ticker.
on 500 watch.
Yeah. All right. Anything else? Hemp? Big Mike? Let's move on.
This is the most disappointing game.
Seth Byko. Vegas was right. Seth's team kind of bodied Byko. Here's the notes I have on this. They tied it at 4 in like the second or third, and then we ran away with it. That is a quote from somebody named Seth on Team Seth. Good win from them. Kind of a statement win. This is like if you're Seth and you are going into Sunday, you're like, hell yeah, this is a great test for us. Byko's a solid team, probably a top third team in the league. Let's wake up. Let's go dominate. Let's go win a game. And they did that. So measuring stick game, Seth measured. And you have to be very happy with we can win against a good team. And you're happy. And if you're Byko, you're like, fuck, what went wrong?
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what,
the line.
What went wrong?
The line.
Was it the fact that Seth's team walked 7 times and Pez is back to being bad?
No.
They faded. He faded Jimmy Pizzullo. That's
the trap line wins again.
The trap line definitely wins again. I could also just, I kind of fell for it as well. I think, the 2 games prior, if I'm not mistaken, Seth's team didn't really put up a lot of runs. But then, they lost that one game to Glenn where it was like 25-23 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't sure where this offense kind of stood. Yeah. And they for sure proved me wrong. I thought that Byko's offense also maybe would have, given more than 6 runs regardless. I thought this would be maybe more of a shootout again, kind of like that Marrone game. And definitely was, proven wrong and crushed.
It's not the
crushed the line.
It's not the 7 walks. It was the 6 runs they scored.
Yeah.
That's the surprise. And, Matt Hill 2 for 4, Byko 2 for 4, Baldino. Cord stays hot as ever. Pez is 500. Then the bottom of the lineup gets long there, I guess. They were missing Brad. Justin was 0 for 3.
It's interesting though, looking at the stats, right? Like Byko's team had 12 singles and Seth's team had 13 singles. But where shit gets crazy is Byko's team had 2 homers. But where shit gets crazy is the extra base hits, 6-1, right? So you look at hitting, right? A couple of those singles come with guys on.
What?
One of those homers for Seth is not a solo homer. Maybe it's a 2 or 3 run homer. One of those singles for Byko, or one of those homers for Byko is a solo homer.
Yeah.
See, maybe this comes down to clutch hitting with guys on.
This makes me nervous. We got to play them next week, and they just had a bad game. I don't think this is the type of team that's going to have a ton of bad games in a row. I think they're going to move and shake with Pez. 7 is a lot of walks. I know one of them was intentional, so I guess 6. But
Tom.
Yeah, buddy.
Speaking of the 7 walks, I just have to give a quick shout out, and then I'll let you finish.
Hunter Weiser.
What a fucking day from Dave Hunter Weiser. 0 for 1 with 3 walks.
That's John Hempstead's star of the week right there.
Talk about trying to figure out why Seth won this game.
Yeah. I mean, I did have 4 walks, but the time and places, I'm not walking the 13 3 times. That's no good. Nishkit. No good at all. So, I mean, he's got to be better, and those are the ways he has to be better. Like, he's not a bad pitcher. That just cannot happen. It just can't. Maybe once, twice. I mean, twice is a fluke, and that's okay. But 3 times is something that's fixable. So you got to fix that.
Someone finish this sentence. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times.
Can't get fooled again.
We won't get fooled. Yeah. I'm not ready to bury the pitcher or the team on this one just yet. I do think they're a top half team. I do think that, I know Pez is, I call him Nero all the time, ready to, play the violin while Rome burns. But from the pitcher position, you have to be just a little bit more emotionally stable, I think. So much of like you were saying with Josh Walker, like, the game cannot start until he throws the ball. And he's throwing the ball with a lot of crazy energy, and he's riling other people up.
Pez? Crazy energy?
I just, I would like to see him just be a little bit more in control, a little bit more of an emotional leader. And I think that he'll be so much better. And then when he's on offense, when he's got the bat in his hand where he could do a lot of damage, let him fucking yell at everybody. We need a little Jekyll and Hyde out of Pez. And then if he can't learn to control this emotional thing that he's got going on, Byko's going to have a long season. The team's going to have a long season. And then I don't think they're going to reach their potential. They could be very, very good. Yeah.
How many different therapists do you think have tried to channel Pez's energy and gotten fired?
0.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Pez is one for the therapy.
No, I get what you're saying though, and I'll ask you the same question I asked about Frank's team. It's a different vein, but it's the same question. Like, is this team gonna come and go with Pez on the mound? Right? Like, it's hard to boil down to the pitcher position in underhand softball, but like, this team is looking like that might be it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, 2 losses, 2 of their last 3 games, 92 walks. 0 walks, 7 walks. Which one did they win? You tell me, right? Like, is that?
I think,
is that make or break for them in the rest of the year?
I would say that I think they're good enough to. I think they can hit well enough to get themselves out of those jams, but I don't think that's a winning formula long term. Like, yeah, you might win 1 or 2 games where he walks 7 and they win 14-13, and they're good enough to do that. When you're at, it's a toll. It takes a toll. Look at your team. You guys know if we can get 8 runs, we're in it. So if you're down 7-3, you have no lack of faith that you can come back and win. But when you're down 8-3 and you're like, you see the 13 get walked, things start to kind of unravel. And then you show up the next week. How many is he going to walk? He walks 1 in the first inning. Here it goes again. Or we got to score 12, 13 runs to make up for this. And it's like, that's not what you want. You want to come to the field loose, feeling good, happy to see all your guys. Like, not to say that they're not loose and feeling good, but in the back of their mind, they got to score 10, 11 runs every game to And that's how many teams right now are averaging over 11 runs a game?
I don't think a lot.
Let's see. I was just looking at it. How many teams right now are averaging over 11 runs a game? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 is exactly at 11. So 4.5.
Okay. So
it's not many.
So 4 teams are,
and they're giving up 11.5. So on average, they would lose to 1, 2, 3, 4, and there's a team at 11.5. So they would lose to 4 teams on average. And that's not many. And here they sit 3-3.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean they I guess it's what they give up more runs than ProCare. They give up more runs than Glenn. They're giving up more runs than everyone but Kleschinsky's, who had 3 different pitchers, and Goddard, who's been just in a bunch of slugfests. That's and this team is still 3-3. So, a lot of good, a lot of things you want to work on. Don't want to, not thrilled about playing them. Coming off a couple, they've lost 2 of their last 3, and Byko is a very good captain, and I know, Pez is going to be here making a cheesecake tomorrow, talking a bunch of shit, and it's going to start already. So I just, this game is one you kind of want to get in, get out like a demon's whisper, win by a couple runs, and never think about it again.
Fair enough. John, anything on either of these teams? Seth, 15 runs. Good for them. Seems like they're figuring something out. Anything you guys want to mention?
I refuse to give Seth's team any bulletin board material for this week, so I will step aside from that.
I'm still texting Josh Walker, so I don't know.
All right. Can you answer, Tom? Thanks.
Yes.
All right, Tom. We'll move over to Ping's winning 13-9 versus Wallman. Good win for Pings.
Yes.
They continue to be a solid squad. Good to see them win, bring energy Wednesday night, beating a team I personally think is better than them in Wallman. Yep. Seems like Wallman is maybe not playing their best ball right now, losing 2. Am I wrong with Wallman? Are you right with Wallman? Talk to us about this game.
I feel like I get credit for dragging Wallman's team, and that's not the case. That's not. Everybody had them number 1 right away, and I did not, or number 2 behind. And I just think I think they are. I just, what am I going to say? I think that Nick DiNapoli and Chase and Billy are being asked to do so much. This game was tied in the 6th with the bases loaded.
That's so fair.
It was tied in the 6th with the bases loaded, no outs. Foster made a crazy play on Richie Allen that if it goes up the middle, 2 score easily. Todd hits a hard ball that's a sac fly, and then Paul O'Connor hits it up to the end, up the middle. They only scored 2 runs that inning. It was like 9-7 in the top of the 7th, and then they kind of came back. Pingaro's team, Fred with another 2-out hit. I don't remember who was on base at the time, but just looks like I said last night, just walk the fucking guy with 2 outs in an RBI situation. It's the 7th inning. Even if he is their walk guy, what is he coming up one more time? Mm-hmm. Holden hit a hard ball to Chase, who smothered it, threw such a great ball to Paul O'Connor, drops it. Tough.
Laid there like a beached whale.
Yeah, gotta have it play. Hard play. I'm not saying it's an easy play, but it's a gotta have it moment for your team. Mm-hmm. Holden goes to second. Fred scores. Pings up 1. Coyle hits a laser beam. Holden scores. The wheels are falling off. And then Todd's team came back. The replacement that Todd got for Mags' dad, he ripped a double. Death taxes on the board taking care of their own for sure. 2 on with 2 outs with Chase up. And then, he does what they didn't do to Ed, and he walks Chase. He faces Nick. Nick grounds out to Ed to end the inning with the bases loaded. Nick walks the first two batters the very next inning, clearly still annoyed about what happened before. He gets a pop-up that moves the runners, and then our favorite vinegar merchant, Pat Pingaro comes on. Sack fly. They go up 3. Wallman is just dead. So, Pings, I think Wallman's going to beat up on bad teams, and they're going to have games like this against the good teams, and maybe they go 500 against the good teams, and maybe they go, maybe they have a 750 winning record against the bad, and that's what keeps them up top. But I don't think this team is unbeatable. I think they're, like I said, maybe the 6th best team, maybe right after Seth, if Seth keeps doing what they're doing. So I think they're kind of aptly rated, right there between 4 and 7.
It's interesting, right? When you look at it, Dom, because I think you make some good points, especially when you say like Chase and Will are doing a lot at the top. When you look at 7 runs down or 7 round draft picks and down, right? Team Wallman had 3 hits, totaling 4 bases and no runs. Granted, they were missing 2 guys. When you look at Pings, 6 hits, 4 runs.
Yeah, you got Pings.
7 bases in a 4-run ball game.
Running hard,
right? Like that
fresh.
Makes a little bit of a difference.
All the difference, dude. All the difference that's what I still think that Pat, when I was like in 6th grade, I had a pen pal. He was from Turkey, and he came and visited to America, and he stayed with us for a weekend. And when he left, he took all of my tennis shoes with him. I feel like that's what Frank LaRocca did to Pat Pingaro in the draft. He came over as a friend and stole all of his tennis shoes and left. And I still think because Pat's a good manager and a good drafter, he has a nice back of the lineup, and it's keeping his team afloat. And Frank's team is doing very, very well. But I think Pat's team had a chance to be really bad if he did not draft this back of the lineup that can get 4 or 5 hits a game. Sorry, I have unresolved trauma from my childhood.
Your analogies are very relatable.
Was the Indian child's name Mike, and he works for Verizon? He's going to help me with my phone?
No. His name was Baran, actually.
Yep.
Baran?
Baran James.
Baran. I gotta go. Yeah, I hate you. The real drama.
So relatable. The binoculars happened to me again last week.
Ush, let me ask you this, right? Thinking of Team Wallman, Ush, right? Mm-hmm. They've beaten Goldfarb, they've beaten Byko, they've beaten 2 playing team games currently, Carroll and Polzer. They've lost to LaRocca, they've lost to Goldfarb, they've lost to Goddard, LaRocca, and Pingaro. So they've lost to 3 good to above average teams, and they're 2-2 against other teams. What do you make of this team? Are you worried about Team Wallman in the longevity? They play Rosenstock next week. What are you making of this team?
I will say, I am a little concerned with this team just by, we thought in the beginning of the season they were a Union Hill team. 3 out of their 4 wins are at Union Hill. But, now they're losing some Union Hill games where you think they have an advantage. Mark Z's been banged up for them. He's missed, I think, 5 games in a row now. Something like that. I see he's missed a bunch of games for them. That's a big part of their lineup. Honestly, he's a big bopper.
You think
maybe not defensively he doesn't help, but he definitely helps that lineup extend, especially deeper into that lineup where, Chase is doing his thing, Billy Allen's doing his thing, and you're just looking for any way for that bottom of the lineup to turn it over. You got an 0 for 4 day out of Paul O'Connor, 0 for 4 day out of, or 0 for 3 day out of Scott Sandler, 1 for 4 out of Todd, 1 for 4 out of Richie, 1 for 4 out of Kornhauser. That's just not going to do it. You need somebody to help drive this lineup a little deeper, maybe even when these top guys get on and they can't drive themselves in, get them off those bases and to score some runs.
I'll tell you what, the bottom of the order does not hit all game. It's going to take the bat out of Chase's hands late in the game.
Absolutely.
Because if there's no penetration on these bases by these deeper guys, the one time he came up with a chance to hurt, just do the right thing and you just give him the base.
Mag's going 0 for 4 doesn't help. He's not setting the table at the top.
Yep.
He's been a little bit.
They've had one walk. They had one walk all game. So only 3 innings of this game were recorded. It's like 36 minutes.
I was there for like the first 3 innings and then had to run home to get ready for Tony's, but then Doug flipped on when it was tied.
What is Magarella hitting right now? I feel like he's been cold the last couple of games. Couple 0 for 4s and 1 for 4s in there. Ever since he smoked our team on Wednesday night.
Yeah, he got off to a really hot start, and I feel like people kind of figured out how to pitch him again.
It's a big grab. Like
370.
Down to 370, which you'll hope to see a little bit better out of him, right?
He was over 600 in like after a couple games.
Only one walk from that team, too. I don't know if Ed was just dealing that day, but watching Ed last night, you could work a couple of walks off Ed. You just need to be patient. Ed does throw a lot of short pitches. He can be wild. And, I think maybe some people just are afraid of, how good of a pitcher people think that Ed is. Not that he's not a bad pitcher. I don't think that he's a bad pitcher, but can be a little wild, and I think people just want to try and hit off of him so bad that they press a little bit.
This is a team that falls into are they better than Goddard? No. Are they better than Byko? Maybe. Maybe they're the same as Byko. And they're Byko with a different problem. Because way better pitcher, but a little bit different issues. So,
agreed.
But I think Pingaro's. Do you don't think Pingaro's team is better than them after watching them play and then playing against them?
I do.
I know you said that you thought that the better team. Did you not say that, Martin? Big Mike, I heard you.
I haven't seen this Wallman team play too much, and I don't consider Doug's brutal live stream from behind home plate 30 feet as considering watching them. I don't think I've seen him play most of a game. So I still believe in this Wallman team. I've been high on them. I'm going to continue to be high on them until they prove me wrong. I think Pings is a good team. I would not say the better roster won this game. And I believe that. And I will stick to that until I'm proven wrong. But hand up right now.
When you word
I'm starting to believe I'm wrong.
You word it like
I'll put that out
when
there.
you word it like that, I'm with you on the fence on your side.
I don't think that Wallman's a bad team, and they're in our division, so I don't think that I should take them lightly, and I don't take them lightly. I just think that they're kind of working through some things right now, and they're kind of trying to figure it out.
Like when push comes to shove in the playoffs, they have one of the best 1-2-3 hitters this league has to offer. And you're like, fuck. We have to face Chase, Nick, and Bill. Fuck.
This is going to be
and I don't think you can say that about many other teams.
This is going to be an interesting 5-game stretch for them. They play Rosenstock this week, and then they go Kleschinsky, Marrone, Drashinsky, and you guys at Kessler. And I think that that's going to be very telling for where they kind of fall for this season.
Put one more in there, Pollock, right? So their next 6 games through the month of June, right? Like you said, Rosenstock, Kleschinsky, Marrone, Drashinsky, Kessler, Pollock, 6 games. What are you looking, Ush, for them to come out of that 6-game stretch to feel good about them?
I would say
Because for me, it's 4. I need 4-2. 4-2 for me to continue to buy in.
I was going to say they have to go at least 500. 4-2 obviously would be nice, but if you could come out of that at least 500, 3-3 out of that, and be, 7-6 going into maybe what, if you'd want to call it, maybe a softer schedule. Who knows where everything falls out at that point with like a Conti, a Bomenblit, a Lombardi. But I think that if you can kind of find your way to just staying afloat or being 2 games over 500 at that point, you're in a good spot.
Any thoughts, Hemp, on either of these two teams?
I mean, it's tough for me to comment on Wallman right now because I was so high on them after the beginning of the season, and I've been looking at this. I'm looking at the yearly stats on these guys right now, and I just can't find the problem other than the bottom 3. But listen, that's gonna happen. Like, they've got 3 guys hitting below 150. That's obviously doesn't help. But I was with their run differential and their record, I was expecting to see, like, is Billy Allen struggling? Is DiNapoli struggling? Is Sandler struggling? Nope. So I don't know what's going on here. I feel like they have a good team. I really do.
I would say that all the teams that you listed have very good defenses, and they need to prove that they could beat teams with good defenses, not just teams with good offenses. And so 3-3, I think, is enough to say, oh, we can figure it out. 4-2 is saying that we are as good as we felt like we need to be. And then I think less than that, I think we got to figure some stuff out.
Fair enough. All right, let's move on to one of the... Anything else, fellas?
Nope.
No.
Let's move on to maybe the quickest segment this podcast has to offer. This is A Game Was Played segment, and Polzer somehow won a game against Kleschinsky. Dom, give me a 22-second recap of this game, and I'm counting.
Polzer's excited because they won, but they beat a team that's going to be in the playing game without their one, who is by far their best player. Their pitcher played shortstop, and the game was they were down by a run into the 7th. I love 2 of the people on this team so much.
22 seconds.
And I want them to be happy, but I can't.
This is overtime. I'm charged.
I can't be excited. Also, I can't believe Kleschinsky gave my boy Andrew Rodriguez a double for a ball that was just a fly ball that he didn't even run to first base for. And then when it dropped, he ran to second. Like, come on. But anyway, I don't know. This is just
no junior.
There's no winner in this. There's no winner in this game. Yeah, no.
This is one of those games where if you paid for MLB TV extra innings, you would be begging for your money back.
You'd be begging for the blackout that day.
Hemp, let me ask you this. Is there any world where Team Polzer, because I know you're a hater, Rush, I'm not going to ask you. Is there any world where Team Polzer, who is currently the 14 seed in the league, is there any world they're not in the playing game?
Oh, well, it's really tough to ask me that question right now because I'm going to keep saying that my team will not be in it. So I'm like stretching for other teams.
I'll tell you what, your team could be either one of these teams on any day. So I like your chances of getting into the first round at least. After.
Thank you very much, and your hair looks great.
So yes, they're making the play.
This is a play-in preview.
I can't comment on the playing game right now. I can't comment. That's bad.
Johnny, I know you don't want this game. Listen, I know
once the calendar flips to July and we get our turf field and the weather goes above 80.
Johnny, Polzer had their entire team. Kessler, Kleschinsky was missing. Their pitcher played shortstop, and they were winning 4-3 in the 7th inning.
Dom, listen, you're making fantastic points.
Yeah. And I like both these guys, both these teams, but
Ush, as the number one Polzer hater on this podcast, is there anything that they can do to get you to hate them a little bit less? Just a little bit less.
I mean, just to make the record straight, I don't want to hate them. I like a lot of the guys on this team, but I hate them.
He's tired of watching them bring piss to a shit fight. Okay, we all are. I'm tired of it.
Piss to a shit fight.
I'm sick of it.
Marty, let me say one thing about these guys, because to answer your question to Ush, and I hate to do this. I hate to do this because I fucking love this guy, but Danzer has to hit better than 133. Danzer is a much better hitter than 133.
He's a much better hitter than 133, but how much better?
A lot better. Bush, 133? He's 300 points better than that. That's a lot.
But
I will say Sandgate
400. Where are they?
I don't know, but shout out Danny Jr. Stud hitting 667.
Dude, crushing it.
He's been crushing.
Sandgate had a good game.
I
He's very
attribute a lot
vocal.
of that to last season. When we played Polzer earlier in the season, guess who's taking tea time work by himself? Dan Jr. There had a couple of guys there. He bought a tee. He bought into what Martin sold last year, and he's putting in the work. So absolutely deserves to be hitting what he's hitting this season.
No doubles from Polzer's kind of crazy. Dan texted me and said, like, dude, I feel unbelievable right now. Like,
wasting the hottest season of your career. Could you imagine?
Imagine. It's disgusting.
I'd like to be there someday.
I've been there.
And this Kleschinsky team, right? Obviously, Junior's going through what he's going through. Best of luck to him in the recovery. I think from what I hear, everything will be all right. We'll be back. Just a matter of time. But they're about to go through it right now. And 4 runs against a Polzer team on a big field is a tough entry into going through it, and I don't think there's gonna be much positives to talk about over the next 5 to 6 weeks for Team Kleschinsky.
I think this is the tough part of where the team that was drafted kind of hurt. You almost wanted to build a team where you can get out to an early start in the season, and then when Junior has to miss a couple of games, you can afford to lose a couple of games, maybe squeak one out. I just don't see a way where this team without him squeaks any games out, and it could just, again, snowball really fast and find yourself in that playing game really early in the season.
Here's where I feel like this is only my second year in the league. I've never drafted. I'm not a captain, but huge error knowing that you're going to take your son, who's your one, going to play left center field. You want to teach him to be a shortstop, which is the right move. Your second pick has to be someone that is not a rookie, that is not only an outfielder. Not to bring up Darren Saylor again, but Darren Saylor can play left center, knows the league, can play shortstop.
Yep.
Now they have this was premeditated and planned. And so this was my gripe also too with Polzer, is that I love Brullo. He's a top 30 talent for me in the league, but he does not know the league. This is not a yellow ball league where you play all the guys. You're on a team with 12 guys. 6 of them are 1, 5 of them are 2s, and 1 of them is a 3. Like, this is not that. This league will put you in a blender up and down the entire lineup, and it's a lot for a new guy. The second year in the league, it's tough to take in your second round pick a left center fielder that is less than 3 years into this league. It hurts. I'm watching it hurt multiple teams, but especially this one, because now Ronnie played a great shortstop. Honestly, he made 1 error. Find me another shortstop that's only making 1 error a game. That's great, but that's not what he's there for. You put him there for 5 games, those numbers are gonna. Second base, incredible. First base, incredible. Third base, incredible. For him to be you're penciled in 4 or 5 week starter at shortstop before the season starts in the draft room, I think is a disservice. And behind him is a rookie that's never played in the league.
And not only that, I feel like when you knew that Junior was going to be out for these couple of weeks before the draft, I think you just kind of, he did himself a disservice in the draft, and you should have just let them rate him as one of the later first-round picks, got one of the better second-round picks, and then just kind of like tried to let the draft come to you. And him being placed in that top 5 range really fucked him this year, I think.
Dude, like imagine if they had the Volanis, like how much further that would go along with this team right now.
Or even the Santiagos. Could have possibly gotten the Santiagos in the second round if he had a late enough pick.
Also great.
But imagine you took Darren Saylor and David Vignapiano instead of Ronnie Pacheco and A-Rod. And Vig could play short. He could play third. He could play outfield. You have Darren.
I mean, that's high. With
it's not,
Vignap,
though.
With Vignap, that's a high.
Viggy is maybe hindsight. That's fair. But like Saylor, going like Saylor. Like if he went like Saylor. Like I think even Gamolka, like you take Gamolka as a shortstop and you figure it out with like even if you're gonna go rookie, go Gamolka as he plays shortstop. Maybe he could play outfield. Sure, he's young, he's fast, whatever. But like take him over a locked in outfielder
that doesn't know the league.
Yeah, but like if you're gonna go rookie, you go Gamolka over Vignapiano for sure at that point. But
I think Vignapiano could play.
There's a lot of things he could have done different.
I think
I'll be honest. We're spending too much time on Kleschinsky's draft. We've talked that part to death. Like everyone knows he fucked up. He knows he fucked up, and we're going to talk about it next week and the week after and the week after.
Are we at the 2? What minute mark are we at right now?
It doesn't matter.
Near 2 hours.
No, because we got 30 minutes that we blocked off before.
All right, let's move on. Anything else on either of these disgraceful teams?
That's it.
All right. Let's talk Team Goldfarb. I don't even care about Team Carroll. We murdered them to death. Team Goldfarb deserves its flowers. Sitting first in its division, beat a Make-A-Wish team, and Team Goldfarb is starting to take shape into who we thought they might have been. Winners of 4 straight, got their run differential into the positives, and they are looking like a team to be messed with. Ush, talk to us about the team.
Love where we're at right now, especially after, the start that we had. We lost a tough one to Wallman opening week. Like you said earlier, we throw that out the door. But second week, like we said also earlier in this episode, Byko killed us. We were missing a bunch of guys. But I think that this team is starting to take shape, and I don't think that we've even reached our pinnacle yet. Alex isn't hitting well. I'm not hitting well myself. I'm pathetic at the plate. But I think that our defense has been really solid. I think that our bottom of the lineup has come through a lot for us to start this season. And if we can even continue to get that, even if it's for 1 inning at a time, maybe 2 innings in the game where they come through twice out of the 3 times occasionally when they get to the at-bats. I think that we're in a good spot, and I think that we can still improve, and we have a lot to show still for this season.
What I've seen a lot from your defense has been encouraging. Like, you've been looking good in right center, especially on a couple of the balls above you. Like, even Villani in left centers, like, I feel like he's taken another step forward defensively. Like, he was lights out on Sunday night. Doesn't matter where he's playing, gaps are closed. Gap looks open.
He's a very...
Gap looks open.
Villani's in left center. He covers a lot of ground.
He's an elite outfielder in the league.
Yeah.
He's a 1. He's a 1.
For sure.
He's a 1.
I agree.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. Alex is playing well at second. Becker's been fantastic pitching too. Like I haven't seen him have any blow ups or anything like that. Like you guys are, like I said, you are who I think everyone thought you were right now, and it's going to be a dangerous team going forward. What are you thinking of this team? Having played them?
I think it's a good team. I really do. I mean, like you said, they are who we thought we were. Like I knew they would be a good team. And Becker went 1 for 4 in this game too. And I know Becker's having the season I was expecting him to have. Marty, you and I played him in the playoffs last year. I knew he would have a good year this year. And I knew Villani was a good outfielder, but he was covering so much ground so quickly the other day. He is a top. I got to think for a little, but I'd say easily a top 3 left center fielder in the league.
I would say out of left center fielders go, and it's not even being biased, I would say that it's hard to have a top 3 conversation without putting him in the same conversation.
Oh, he's definitely in the conversation. Yeah.
Yeah. Just with the amount of ground that he covers, and I don't even think that his knowledge of the league has been like met to the peak yet. And I think that just has to come with his age where, I mean, not everybody's going to buy into this league enough where they like truly care to like learn everybody in this league and become that guy. But even if you could become half that guy and have the physical talent, you could be easily a top player in this league.
Right.
And I think that he has all the potential in the world. And I think that if he just, maybe studied the game and some of the guys a little bit more and just knew how to position himself a little bit better, he can elevate himself and like reach a level that he didn't think was possible.
What was Villani for you guys, Ush? Where was he slotted? Mike Villani?
Mike Villani, I think, is our 7.
That is a very, very good 2-7.
Yeah, they got to fix that.
I think Villani should have went in the first round. I know that Dave loves the Caputo pick, but I think that he could have also taken the Villani pick and still ended up in just as good of a spot.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Dom. What's been making this Goldfarb team be so dominant over these last 4 weeks?
I mean, do I got to bring up the binoculars again? Because
yes.
I mean, you got the second best shortstop in the league at number 12. You got the third best left center fielder at 28, and then you got probably the third or fourth best pitcher at after the run of all those pitchers went. That's a robbery. And then you have Ush that dropped as well. Like it's
not the answer I was expecting to get.
My plan worked. Playing outfield made me drop to the 4th. I just thought that my offense would be better as a 4th round pick than my defense, but
it'll get there. I mean, that's not. I look at this team and there are not many teams that have studs in these spots, and I think the teams that do have them are very good. And this goes back to talking about that shortstop, pitcher, second baseman combo. And like Alex he doesn't have a ton of mobility, and I wouldn't rank him in the top 3rd at second base. But when you have such a strong shortstop and pitcher with you, you now are elevated into that top 3rd of the league. So what I said on Sunday, they're weakest on the corners, and they're stronger than half the league on the corners. So it's a problem.
I just want to give a shout out to the bottom of our lineup.
So good.
That's what I was trying to tee you up for.
Sorry, that's 13 in the league.
By the way, they're bottom of binoculars. What the fuck?
My bad. I thought you were going to yell at me about Cole again.
The bottom of our lineup has come through for us time and time again. And especially, on this Sunday when we played Carroll, and even in the Goddard game, they're working walks, they're getting on base. Billy Big Balls Chisano just fucking wheelbarrowing his balls down the street.
Wow.
He's playing incredible. Best 13 in the league right now. And I can't give the bottom of our lineup any more credit, turning it over to the top of our lineup continually.
Unbelievable how good they've been. We talked earlier in this about I can't remember which game, but we talked about the 7 bottom hitters on one team
Goddard,
versus another, whichever game that was. Was it the
Yeah.
Goddard game? Sure. The bottom 7 of you guys going into this game, they had 15
Is
hits.
this sustainable?
They scored 8 runs
Because
and they had 18 bases. John, earmuffs. You guys had 3 bases total between your 7 bottom guys. Is it sustainable?
I think it is.
No.
I think it is.
No
Only
way,
because,
dude. No way. But you guys don't need it to be sustainable, is my point. You guys have top 5 players at 4 key positions.
I think it's sustainable only because of the fact that we have a lot of smart guys at the bottom of our lineup who understand the situations of the game. In a Doug, in a Billy Chisano, like, they're going to take pitches. They're not going to swing. They're not going to try and press anything. Will they succeed and execute all the time? Probably not. No, but they at least understand the situation of the game, and that's more than you could say for a lot of these bottom guys on a lot of teams.
I'm not going to harsh your buzz. I'm going to let you live.
No. Go for it.
Why is Billy Chisano a 13? I did not realize that.
Sure.
Don't know.
That right there, that is insane.
A
Don't
short
know, because
game,
we could get away with him playing right field for 9 innings if we really wanted to.
Why is he a 13? I don't understand that at all. We've got guys that could barely walk going all over the 13th round. Billy Chisano's in the 13th.
I'll tell you what, dude.
What a pick.
It was a steal.
Josh Garcia, Rich Hartley, Doug Cohen, Billy Chisano.
Matt Whalen, you got to throw him in there. He's hitting over 500.
No, they're not going to hit over 500 all season. No shot. But
no, they're not.
Luda, Villani, Becker, Ush, Bija, Villani, Whalen, Goldfarb. That's 8 guys that can, and that's fucking nuts. Nuts. That's what I'm saying. Even if it's not sustainable, you don't need it to be because, my God, Alex did a very wonderful job.
I think we've unlocked a little bit of something out of Mike Villani, too. We've been, we've been helping him, giving him a little tips, kind of not trying to change what he does, but just kind of like move him around ever so slightly. And I think that that's worked for him. And the last 2 games, he's definitely proven that. He is very hot right now at the plate.
Anything else on these 2 teams? All right, let's move on to Pollock beating Lombardi 13-10. I'm going to start with this one, fellas, and I'll throw it over to you, Hemp, after I give my very short breakdown. But Pollock beating Lombardi without AJ and Aponte. Like, thinking back to our preview draft, the draft recap episode in the preview to the season, I mean, I couldn't have been more right about this Lombardi team. And I'm going to take the rest of this one off because, holy shit, we play them Sunday. I don't need to feed them more. But, yikes. Yikes. What do you got here?
No Aponte, no problem. That's all I've got. Although winning without the best pick in the draft is not easy, so hats off to him.
I did hear that Noel got drilled with a bat to the head.
Yes.
Game. I don't know how much that affected his game. He still played the whole game, so shout out to him for that.
Bush,
somebody had a bat slip out of their hands, and it just hit him right in the head.
Yeah, it was
Matt or Mitch.
I think it was Mitch.
I think it was Mitch.
I thought it was somebody else.
It was one of the Pollocks, for sure.
And then Noel, I don't think, proceeded to get a hit on the day, whether you want to chalk
like
it up to
5.
that or not.
Yeah.
1 for 5, I mean.
Yes, and he was swinging hot bat.
Yeah. So, I mean,
listen,
kind of tough.
Ponte.
No Ponte, no AJ, though.
But also no Zach Schmidt, no Joe Lee.
What a trade-off.
Great glue guy. Sun Cruiser guy himself.
Sun Cruiser. 2 of them.
You can't lose this game. This is crazy. What does losing this game mean? Let's not even talk about the play-by-play of this game. Who gives a shit?
Lombardi has no heart.
Well,
they're just a gingerbread child, a soulless mongrel.
You're one of the monsters in The Wizard of Oz.
One of the flying monkeys.
That's the Scarecrow? The Tin Man. The Tin Man.
Yeah, the Tin Man is.
Wow, this is the Tin Man. That's great. That's a great poll. Yeah.
You called them monsters the other day. That was insane.
They are. What do you call things that come to life that are dead? Hemp?
They also might be the lion, because I don't think they have courage.
Yeah. Are they all the monsters put together from the Wizard of Oz? Oh my god. And there's no brain there either. Shit.
Wow.
Well, that's
Marty, you played them Sunday? Good luck,
it's the Scarecrow. It's
Marty, you can stop texting me things to say. I got this from here.
Right.
Marty's just texting stuff in the group chat of all the stuff he wants.
Yeah. And Dom's just reading it right off.
Per the advice of my attorney, I'm going to invoke my Fifth Amendment right.
I would like to evoke my Second Amendment right.
You have bear arms?
I do. Nice.
I would like to take one of those to my brain, having watched this game.
Yeah, I don't know. I want better from this team. This is the team I think. You can't say no. There's nothing to say.
The Lombardi lineup just gets really deep when it's not rolling.
They need to figure out a way to pivot. I don't know what their chat roulette. It started as social media, and then it kind of turned to become a playground for the sexually monstrous. That's what they have to do. They need a chat roulette type of pivot because they
Connor went 3 for 4 in this game, but 3 for 4 isn't part of his game. He's not consistently going to give you that 3 for 4, and he hits too high in their lineup for him not to be more consistent. And the bottom of this lineup was really good for them to start. Steve Messina hit a home run on Union Hill. And
shout out Steve Messina, the man.
Yeah, they were kind of rolling to start the season, but it's just not something that's going to be sustainable for 2020.
Eddie hit 500. Grenice had a perfect day. Loesch hit 500. Connor 750. Salerno 750. And they scored how many runs? 4? This is tough. They scored more than 4, right?
That part of the lineup scored a bunch of runs. Their top of the lineup basically did everything. The bottom of the lineup did nothing.
If you guys look at the yearly stats on these guys, their 1 is hitting 407, and their 2/3 is hitting 300.
Eddie had 2 singles, 2 runs. Noel had 1 single. He scored the one time he got on. So did Ramon. Bernice scored every time he got on. And then Connor got on 3 times, only scored 1 time. Billy scored 1 time, got on base 3 times. Or twice.
One word answer.
The bottom just didn't come through for them. Luis Salerno had 3 hits and a run and 2 RBIs, but other than that,
nothing.
Maybe 2 hits combined out of 5 guys.
Martin, Lombardi, lock or no lock for the playing game?
Fifth Amendment.
Bush?
As of right now, they are in that playing game. I don't think that. I don't know if they have the group of guys to rally and really just get it.
Wow, that's a politician's way of saying lock. What about you, Johnny?
Oh, sometimes I hate you, and that was one of those times.
It's fine. I hate myself sometimes.
We love you anyway. Lock or no lock, Johnny?
Lock. Everyone but my team is a lock.
You got to say that. Love it. All right, cool.
Hemp going back on another take.
Is that all the games?
Dom, can you ask me, but don't ask me? Ask me without asking me, because I might give you a real answer.
It's hard to see.
Who's playing on September 4th or whatever the day is?
No, that ain't it.
It's
If someone were to ask me hypothetically who the 4 playing games were, again, no one's asking me this question, but if someone were to ask me this question, I would maybe say, like, if I were to answer this question that wasn't asked.
Let me ask the question. Let me ask you the question. You ready?
No, I don't want you to ask
that
question.
You can't ask him because if
no,
you
you're not.
No, I'm going to ask a better. Just let me ask the question. Of the 4 teams that are currently in the playing game slotted, which team does Polzer bump to get into it?
That is an unbelievable question. And who are those 4 teams for those?
Right now, the bottom 4 teams are Conti, Carroll, Lombardi, and Kleschinsky. Polzer would be the 5th. So you got to take one of those 4 out and put Polzer in. Which one do you take out?
Oh my God! Can the play-in game have?
I don't know. We got to
games?
call Doug. It's not right now. It's late.
Is it? Are we turning it into like the NBA playing game where it becomes like
a playing game to the playing game?
Yeah. So both those teams play, and then one team gets a bye.
I want my friends to not be a part of it.
If
so
Carroll bounces back, I am going to be such an asshole on this podcast that I'm going to get kicked off in 2 episodes.
He looks like he's slowly become more and more the Joker.
Oh, no.
Look, he's got a green background now.
No, I would never have. Please.
What about you, Ush? Which team comes out and which team to put Polzer in of those 4?
Only because I think that they want it more. I'm going to go with Team Carroll. I want to go Team Lombardi. I just don't think that the leadership will be there.
All right, so
Team Carroll really
we're a bunch of stalkers.
Dom?
I think Tom.
Team Carroll.
I think Tom's team is in for a rude awakening unless I see a really big change in
unless they sign Randy Johnson.
Unless I see something change, I think the best team of these 4 is still, I think, is Drashinsky.
Wow, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, I think when Junior comes back and he can put the weight back on, I think he's going to be a problem again, and I think they can beat some of these bad teams and just squeak out.
All right. Hemp, anything on the playing game combo, or are you going to plead the 5th as well?
Is that every game? Are we finally through these games?
Yeah. Finally. 2.5 hours later.
I mean, you could basically fast forward through 40 minutes of it if you're not Josh.
Most people don't listen to the whole episode anyway, and we respect you for that.
I'm going to put some firm timestamps on this one so people don't have to listen to us absolutely drag Team Carroll through the rakes or the coals, whatever the saying is.
We got to do an in-studio episode one of these days. This fucking keyboard.
We're gonna. I wouldn't be opposed to doing more than one.
I said this with my voice.
I'm with it.
Faz is the only keyboard warrior in this league.
All right, so now we got to handicap these games, right? We got to make our picks. That's what
yeah.
All right. By the way,
do we want to go?
Go ahead. Nah,
you go.
Okay, I'll do it by asking a question. Who won the pool?
Oh, Glenn.
Okay.
Good call.
Glenn ended up winning this week. You won the week before. Congrats. You beat Weiss in your tiebreaker, and then Ben beat me in our tiebreaker.
Good job. You won the wrestling
finally
match.
Got resolution. No, the wrestling match still going to happen.
Okay. Nice.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm fighting Weiss because he doesn't like Mad World, so...
Oh, so that was the wrestling match contingent on that. It wasn't over who would win the pick'em.
Well,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on.
Do we want to go through all of these games, or do we each want to pick one game and talk about why it's important and why we like it? Because I don't necessarily know if we need to really talk about Marrone, Polzer, or Pollock, Conti,
LaRocca,
or
Kleschinsky.
Yeah, like some of these games are over already.
Let's all pick a game of the week and a dog of the week.
Okay.
All right. We'll start with you then, Mr. O. McFalco. Who's your game of the week?
Game of the week is, I think, Seth -2.5 at Goldfarb at East Francis. are you guys missing anyone?
I don't believe so.
Then I think I'll take Goldfarb with the points for sure. And then I think dog of the week is Team Meyer. Obviously, we're getting a run and a half. You could just take that out, right? Save it.
I mean, you guys are playing on Union Hill. You guys suck on closed fields.
You're not wrong, but we'll suck a little less than they will on Sunday.
Seth versus Goldfarb, I feel like it's a very good measuring stick game
for both. Right?
As we reach the middle of the year. Both teams playing very good softball right now. Winners at 3 straight for Seth. Winners at 4 straight for Goldfarb. This game should be flexed to Sunday night, but unfortunately, that's not how we work.
Not yet.
Mm-hmm. I think that's a good pick. 3 teams on doubleheaders this week: Pollock, Polzer, and Marrone. For what that's worth, folks. Ush, you got a game of the week and a dog?
I think my game of the week is going to be Team Kessler against Team Lombardi. I think this will be a chance for you guys to really.
We're missing our best player.
You,
David,
Ben.
Oh. All right. Well, you guys will be all right then.
Talking about bringing piss to a shit fight.
Oh, whoa! No Ben slander.
That's I think you guys will make your statement win of the year without Ben, making him feel like shit even more for missing the game. And
doesn't he have like the highest batting average on that team?
He does. Right. But that's just the way that the world works for Ben.
Ben's worried that they're going to make him a 6, so I have to talk some shit on the record. So he's paid me for that. Sorry, Ush.
And what was my other pick supposed to be?
The dog
of the week. I'm going to take us as the dog of the week. Minus 2.5 is kind of disrespect. I think we're a very good team, and I think we're going to come out on Sunday ready to play, firing.
The book's big Drashinsky, guys. The book is a big Drashinsky guy.
I mean, they were right last week. Why can't they be right now?
Yeah, but I still don't like it.
It is a lot. It is a weird line. We will see. All right, Hemp. Game of the week and an underdog.
Did you guys say Danny Jr. is hurt?
No, he just lives. He just needs to take.
I think you just shifted into Kleschinsky Jr. being hurt so quickly after I said Danny Jr. is having a great year. I'm gonna take Polzer plus 4.5 versus Pingaro.
Wow, at Marrone. Interesting. 4 is a lot. You got to win by 5. That's not easy. So I like it.
Pingaro didn't pay me like he paid you guys, so I'm taking Polzer plus 4.5.
You guys are getting paid?
He gave me some nice balsamic vinegar last night. So
who's your dog?
I mean, that kind of is my dog. They're plus 4.5.
No,
you take him out, right?
You know what? My game of the week is Polzer plus 4.5 versus Pingaro, and my dog of the week is Polzer plus 3.5 versus Marrone. I got to hit one of those.
Wow, you're taking them to win outright one of these games. All right. Look at you. That's very empathic of you.
I should be taking us because these guys that dress like fucking.
I don't know. You gotta,
Hempstead, Jonathan. You're losing to these guys who dress like fairies. You're the fairy. You're the fairy if you're losing to the guys who are dressing in headbands and tights. Like, that's a transitive property of mathematics. Figure it out. Take your own insecurities into your own room and look at a fucking mirror.
Look at a mirror. Look at the way you're dressing.
I look unbelievable, and I play decent, and you look horrible and play horrible.
You gotta wake up early in the morning.
Relax.
You gotta wake up early. You gotta look at.
I show up to the field. Ben's whining about your double play.
And then at night, you gotta stare into the eyes of AJ. Like, you're fucked. You guys are fucked.
Dom, we beat you.
Simon beat us. Let's take it easy.
Get the fuck out of here. Simon beat us.
Whoa. All right. Well, relax. Don't swing if it's a ball.
And then this other guy went 0 for 4 swinging a fucking 3-1 pitch.
You
flying out to the
orange
pitcher.
Juice? What? Is that carrot juice?
God, no.
Looks like it.
I went 0 for 3, John.
This is what keeps me so virile.
0 for 3.
0 for 4.
Sack fly and an intentional walk. I was 0 for 3.
This is like infused Fanta. That's what we got.
All right. That just got off the rails. My game of the week, not necessarily a game of the week, but like, hey, let's not let this season get away from us. Pollock has 2 winnable games, Carroll, Conti. I would love to see them remain 500 or better. They're currently 3-3. They cannot lose both of these games to Carroll and Conti. That would be very bad. So if they don't win one of the two, they should win 2. I think Pollock should.
I'm going to double up this money line on the parlay.
Yes. And then my dog of the week. Certainly going to be Goldfarb. I agree. And I just did the reverse with Seth last week, and it worked. Greg ain't, our bookmaker ain't going to be right twice.
Love it.
Yeah. Wallman Rosenstock has a pick'em. That doesn't seem very good. Rosenstock should win that game.
As a pick'em is also a little weird.
I think that's fair. They're both kind of miserable teams.
They're 2 different types of shit shows, which is fun.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Anything else, fellas? Thoughts, comments, concerns? Did we miss anything we wanted to talk about?
That Wallman stock game at Freehold is just not juicy. It doesn't feel juicy.
I mean, it's a good game that gets stuck on a shit field.
If that game was at Union Hill, right? It's juicy.
Hey, Doug, put our game versus Byko at Freehold in the morning and put them at the 11:30 in Union Hill, right? And let's all just have a good lingering afternoon.
I agree.
Seconded, asked and answered. Motion is passed.
That was supposed to be the noise of like a gap. Yeah. All right, folks. That wraps it up.
See you.
Peace.